Wildcard races intensify with another thrilling week filled with implications. The gang figures out the best offense of the year with a $15 budget. Plus, who would the gang send to the Pro Bowl? All that and more right here on Coast Knows Ball. Right.
How are we
Welcome
doing,
back.
man?
Yeah, I'm
Another
doing-
week of crazy NFL football.
Mhm.
The Panthers beat the Rams. I picked every upset right on Thanksgiving.
yeah. Yeah,
Nobody gave me credit on TikTok, dude. You know, we get all the hate in the world, but your boy went 3-0 and no love.
Yeah, I
no
know.
love.
It was crazy. It was a crazy start to the week. Obviously the betting lines were not like toss-up games, but we talked about it on the show. I feel like all three of us last week were like, yeah, I mean, like I could see either team winning this game. You know, it's a tough one. And then Jacob, you went lone wolf on all four Thanksgiving Black Friday
Yeah,
games.
then with the Bears over the Eagles too.
Yeah,
Got all four right. Look at me now, man. The chef cooked.
pretty crazy. But listen, like it was just a fun week.
Nobody
I
could
thought,
have
of football.
expected it, you know. Yeah, very fun week of football.
Yeah.
You know, and with all the games that we thought were going to be boring games, they were a lot more eventful than we thought they would be, especially the Rams game in particular.
Mhm.
That was a game that we thought was going to be not very fun to watch.
Well, I wanted to pick the Panthers partially because of my hatred for the Rams, but you know, and going into the 2 week stretch of playing the Buccaneers at home and then the Panthers on the road, I'm like, man, they've got to lose one of those, right? And this was weeks ago, you know,
Right.
And sure enough, they only win one of those. They split those two games. Should have stuck with my gut from like 2 months ago or whatever that was, but yeah, like, yeah, still a fun week. I love it when the Rams lose. I love it when the Niners win. It's really funny how much people are like putting a spotlight on the Niners now after beating the Browns. Like, I understand everyone expected this to be like a tough game, and I did too. I was scared.
It's just because they didn't realize that you had 8 wins now. They're like, oh shit, the Niners have 8 wins.
Yeah, I guess so. 9 wins after the Cleveland game, but yeah, I was.
Oh,
but
shit.
I was nervous because of the weather implications in the game. You know, Brock Purdy has not generally played well when the ball is slick or when it's really frigid out. Like, cue the Bills game last season or the Packers, the first like half of the Packers game in the divisional round 2 years ago. So that was my big concern, but clear skies for the most part, and that was really helpful. But
Right.
I guess since we're on the topic, I'll talk about his game real quick and just that game in general, because there's a lot of headlines coming from it, right? I was impressed with him, and the stat sheet doesn't really tell the story, I don't think, but he had tied he threw the ball away 7 times in that game, and every single one you're like, yeah, that's good decision to throw it away. There's nothing downfield.
Great play.
You're under pressure, like good decision to throw it away, reset, next play, next down. That is all the throwaways that he had before that was 7. So in one game, he tied the amount that he's had in every other game this year. And so that was nice. I thought his decision-making was a lot more sound, and his mobility was back, man. Myles Garrett only had 1 sack despite Trent Williams allowing a pressure 35% of the time against him. So he was a force, but he just did not get home because Brock was able to escape really well. So that was really nice to see, because it's not that he was immobile since he's come back, but we haven't seen that kind of escapability. And then the other thing too, man, there was some zip on that ball. You know, one of the reasons that he threw 3 interceptions against the Panthers is because he was late and lofting the ball. And I don't know if there was just an adjustment made during the week, or if he is just really, obviously naturally feeling better, and that helps, with the zip on the ball. But he was thrown with some velocity, and that was a really nice thing to see. And I think if he continues on this trajectory of obviously getting healthier, taking care of himself, but getting back into NFL shape, I think this can be a very, very scary team come playoff time. And if they win a playoff game or
Absolutely.
2, Fred Warner comes back potentially. Like, yikes! You don't want to play Fred Warner in the NFC Championship game.
the Rams do not want to play the Niners in the
Oh
playoffs. That
no,
is just a
yeah,
team that they would be very upset to have to play against. Justifiably so. I mean, no reason for them to want to play that game.
yeah. On the flip side, Shador Sanders gets his first loss
Sucks
as a
again.
pro. I don't really want to talk much about him because it's not like I don't really care that much, but I do think it needs to be
Yeah,
said.
no narrative
Um,
change.
right, no narrative change, but I do believe it needs to be said that when you put and a lot of the pressure has been self-induced. I'm not trying to, remove his autonomy from the situation at all, but when you place
Hmm.
as a media, as a populace, you place this much of a burden on a player to like he was a fifth round pick, right? Like I'm not in some fantasy land where, in my world he was a fifth round pick and everyone else he was a first round, top 3 pick. Like I feel
Right.
like the same like on both sides, the same defense that he gets, like militaristic defense by some people, and then the same um blame or like responsibility that he gets on others. It's very much what like Cam Ward should be getting in Tennessee, but nobody talks about Cam Ward, despite him being the
Yeah.
first overall pick. It's so strange.
He's been the least attended. Like he gets almost as much attention as Trayvon Walker got as a number 1 pick. And Trayvon Walker has an edge who had like zero production in his first year.
Yeah,
You would think that Cam Ward is the biggest bust ever, but he literally is just playing good football and not getting noticed because he has horrible talent around him.
right. It's bizarre, man. I don't get it. I don't get what the obsession is. On one hand, let the kid play. On the other hand, I know that it's again self-inflicted. A lot of this kind of stuff. But I also just I think I said it last week. I can't stand the race baiting thing. Um, a player earns that reputation, that aura that they want on the field through good play and through being an upstanding citizen as well. Like off-field issues have been a thing that people have looked at in the NFL, even if the NFL doesn't look at it themselves, the public does.
Hmm.
Um,
Absolutely.
and Jackson Dart, who seems like a very nice kid and has played generally well in his rookie year so far, yeah, he's going to get more flowers than the guy who had 2 like reckless driving borderline speeding tickets in the offseason, who was mimed to the press, who declined to be drafted by the Ravens because he didn't think he would be a starter there, which he would have been, ironically, for a large portion of the season. And
Yep.
his dad being who he is as well, and then not playing well on the football field. It's a whole concoction of just a mess, and I
Hmm.
think that should be the last
Of
word on
just
it.
malpractice from what you expect out of a quarterback.
And the whole situation, the quarterback, the family, the NFL, the media, everything. I don't, I don't, I don't want to be talking about this anymore. Like I just don't care that much, and I don't want to care that much, but it feels like everyone's kind of forced to, like they're being led down the aisle with a shotgun behind them to talk about
Hmm.
this issue. It's such a non-issue. The team is 3-9. They're a bad football team. He has not played well. Dylan Gabriel might take the starting job back now that he's healthy again. Like, just move on. He can prove himself
Well,
through
and
good
all the
play.
reports is that the teammates want Gabriel to start.
I mean, based on what we see in the media interviews and everything, I wouldn't be shocked. I mean, I don't like to, drag people down, but he's an egotistical child. Like I don't know how else to
He
put it.
literally won a game against the Raiders, filling in as the third string backup, and immediately was talking about how it's going to be his team to lead next year and how the Browns have a bright future with him as their quarterback. You are not that guy, pal. You are not that guy. Sorry. Not sorry. You should know now. Look in the mirror, dude.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even think that like Patrick Mahomes really talks like that, and he's obviously the leader of the Chiefs. But like, maybe he uses the word lead, but it's also been backed up by 7 years of Super Bowl appearances and Super Bowl wins. It's just so bizarre.
Yeah.
Nothing about
Mahomes
anything.
had the Mahomes knew he had the keys to the car going into 2018, and he didn't say a single bad word about Alex Smith in 2017. He never once said, "Yeah, I can't wait for this to be my team. I can't wait for our future in the Chiefs organization." He was humble. He knew it was his team in the future, and he still didn't say shit.
Yeah.
That is what good quarterbacks do.
Yeah. And Lamar I don't want to say allowed, I don't want to use that word, but Lamar is able to have his swagger, and I didn't like the trademarking the 8 thing. That was stupid, but he's allowed to have his swagger because he's played so well. Like he has 2 MVP awards. People argue that he should have 3. Like
Yeah,
there's
there's a
you
good argument
earn
that he should have
yeah,
three.
you earn your reputation in the NFL. You don't it doesn't just get handed to you on a silver platter. And I think it does a really real disservice to other players that are day 3 picks. And we talked about this during the draft as well. The fact that the next like 5 or so players that got picked after Sanders, and again, this is a media issue as well, not just a Shador Sanders or Deion Sanders issue. It's a media issue too.
Yeah, but
But
they didn't even announce those
right,
picks.
that's my point. 5 fucking players are picked and no analysis, no announcement. It's Mel Kiper ranting on his soapbox on he's had such borrowed time. I mean, he should not have a career anymore. Like 15
Yeah,
years and
he's the same
counting.
guy who is singing the praises of Jamarcus Russell.
Yeah. Multiple times he said that he would retire if a player busted, and every single time it's been a bust.
And he still hasn't
Crazy.
retired.
Yeah. Anyway, hopefully we don't have to talk much about that situation for the rest of the year.
Yeah,
It's just
but
annoying, you know.
mhm.
But there were, of course, many other storylines from last week, namely the Thanksgiving games, which we talked about briefly. But really, really fun games. It did feel like in all 3, though, there was a point where a team just controlled it and didn't look back. The Packers controlled the first game, didn't look back necessarily, although it was a 1-score game. Same thing with Dallas. You
Mhm.
know, Dallas was on the ropes at the very beginning of the game. You know, Dak throws a
I
pick.
felt
Chiefs
pretty
are
comfortable
immediately.
with all of my picks throughout the entirety of all of those games.
Mhm. Yeah, and it shows with how they played. Like I said that they were toss-ups going in, but clearly the better team won each of those games on prime time. Like
100%.
one absolutely without a doubt. But yeah, they're almost immediately on the ropes. You know, the interception, quick touchdown, but I think the defense has played really well since their acquisitions since the bye week, and I think that's a huge deal for Dallas. They could go on a run here, man. I really think so, and especially with the way that Philadelphia is playing, the way that I mean that score on Friday is very misleading because it was not that close. Chicago's much better, and they probably would have scored more if they didn't go away from the run
Oh
for
yeah.
some reason.
Yeah, and they had a lot of missed opportunity in the first half. They felt like they should have been winning by 25 going into halftime.
Mm-hmm.
It was ugly. And another narrative actually that I want to come away with in Thanksgiving is that it is extremely possible that the Chiefs have a losing record this year. They don't have the easiest schedule remaining. They do have 2 free wins in the Raiders and Titans, but they still have to play the Broncos again. They still have to play the Chargers again, and they have to play the Texans again. Or not again, but they have to play the Texans. And I have them losing to the Texans. I have them losing to the Broncos. If they lose to the Chargers, losing season. I think it's fully on the table that they could do that.
Yeah, I could see a losing season. I can also see them running the table and going 11-6 and making the playoffs. And
Nah,
um,
they are not winning out.
I'm not predicting that to happen, but there of course is a chance. Um, here's another issue that I have though. Like I'll say that there's a chance that it happens, and I think that
Hmm.
you can reasonably say like, yeah, it's Kansas City. You know, still a pretty solid roster overall. It's still Patrick Mahomes. It's still Andy Reid. It's still Spagnuolo on defensive coordinator. But
Hmm.
like feasibly is different than reasonably. Feasibly, there's at least 2 more losses, like you alluded to, on the schedule. I think, unless something
Right,
catastrophic happens with CJ Stroud again, and he can't play magically this weekend, or Justin Herbert, same thing with the left hand, right?
right,
So like that stuff can happen. And similarly, the Titans can not saying it's going to happen, but the way that the Chiefs have been playing, would it be shocking to see the Titans. I mean, I think they're going to win another game at some point. Like, this is probably the least likely of the games that they could win going forward.
but it's
But
not unrealistic. I could see it. This is definitely a game where I'm like, oh yeah, Titans are probably going to cover that 8.5 spread that they're going to give the Chiefs.
yeah, but at the same time, the Chiefs could win by 21 against the Titans, you know? But
Hmm.
here's my main point and a big issue that I have right now with just NFL discourse in general, this season especially. I feel like a lot of
Hmm.
people have no clue what to think because the Super Bowl matchup last year, the Chiefs and then the winner in the Eagles, both do not look like good football teams right now. And there is an identity crisis with people who have rated them super highly all season, despite the record, especially in the Chiefs case, despite their record. And now it's looking a little scary and another loss for either of these teams. You're in panic mode. I don't understand why blind faith is being purported as the way to go from here on. Why are the Chiefs still in people's top 10 in their power rankings? Why? Have they
It
played
makes
like a
zero
top 10
sense.
team in the last 2 months? Have they? I think they might have played like a top 10 team like 3 times against the
Their
Raiders,
last four
against the
games,
Ravens, and the Giants.
their last 4 games in hockey terms, well, not hockey terms because overtime win is still a win, but their last 4 games are 3 losses and an overtime win. And this is a team that is in everyone's top 10.
It's weird, right?
Makes zero sense.
And it's
They
not
just
just the
lost a game to
Chiefs,
the
though.
Cowboys where they did not lead the entire game.
Yeah, outside of the very beginning, yeah. But it's not just them; it's the Eagles too. When was the last time they looked like a top? We'll say top five with the Eagles. When's the last time it
Off
looked
the
like a
bye week
top five
against the
team?
Packers.
Yeah, 3 weeks ago. Yeah, maybe that could be it. Like
Hmm. And
it's been
right
three
before that,
weeks.
they barely beat the Giants, and they only beat the Giants because of a ton of flawed calls.
Yeah, and they won against the Vikings, which they should have. They got blown out by the Giants on Thursday Night Football. They lost to the Broncos in a complete meltdown of a game. Like they haven't looked good in almost a month now. And again, it's a different case than with the Chiefs, which I say top five, but people still have the Eagles third or fourth or fifth in their. Are you watching football? Like, are you actually watching, or are you just on blind faith that this team will correct course and
Or do you
win
just
games
remember
going
who won
down?
the Super Bowl last year?
I think that's genuinely a part of the question right now with how some people are approaching their power rankings. Not going to name names. I will say Riz of our lovely goat house is not one of those people. He
Yeah, he
actually,
has not been on the
yeah.
Eagles train at all.
Although I disagree quite a bit with some of his specific rankings or having a certain team over another team, I think he generally does a good job of properly like moving teams up and down based on their actual performance of the week. And that's how power ranks are supposed to
He was
be.
way too high on the Rams early, but he was right to be high on the Rams.
Sure, yeah. And of course, a little bit of like, there's a little bit of forecasting. You're never going to get away with no forecasting when you're talking about a team. Otherwise, like the best team of week 5 would have been the Titans because of that crazy comeback win against the Cardinals, you know? Like nobody's going to put the Titans number
Mhm.
1 for a win, you know? So there is,
Right.
of course, a little bit of forecasting with it. But I think that there's just so much value in the last 3, 4 games that a team has looked as opposed to crawling back to week 3. People, the Bears fans right now are a really big culprit of this issue that I'm noticing as well as just a collective fan base doing this type of thing. They will literally in the in Goat House's power rankings video for week 14, you can check the
Mhm.
comments. There are several people, several Bears fans, and I'm not going to call again name specific names or anything, but there are specific Bears fans, several of them that are saying essentially the Vikings loss and the Lions loss at the beginning of the season don't count for anything. It was early in the year and Ben Johnson's just finding his footing. Yet they'll turn around and look at the Packers and say that the Browns loss in week 3 means that the Packers are worse than the Bears. What's the logic there?
There's 1 week in between actually, so it makes perfect logic.
Oh fuck, you're right. But like it's this selective memory and this obviously full on bias.
Oh, it's
And
going on way worse in college football right now with Texas fans trying to be like, well, if we didn't schedule Ohio State, we'd be 10-2, and at 10-2, Texas is definitely in the playoffs. I'm like, no, at 10-2, your only road wins are still overtime against Kentucky and Mississippi State, who are 5-7 each. You are
Mhm.
still not a playoff team. You have not looked good. Do not blame it on the fact that you scheduled Ohio State and you couldn't beat them. That's your problem. You don't get credit for a loss. Suck it up, Buttercup, and take it on the chin. Michigan isn't out here saying, "Oh, well, if we didn't schedule Oklahoma, we'd be 10-2. We would be in the playoffs." USC isn't out here like, "Oh, well, if we didn't schedule Notre Dame, we would be 10-2. We would be in the playoffs." So shut the fuck up, Texas. You are the most arrogant fan base of all time. Nobody likes you for a reason.
Mhm.
Sit
Yeah.
down. Better luck next year.
No, you're totally right, and it is obviously insane levels of bias, and of course as well. I don't want to like pretend that casual fans of these teams are the metric or the control group that we should be looking for each of these teams. But I think the fact that again there is no identity, there is no best team in the NFL right now. I don't think necessarily there are a handful of
Right.
elite teams or borderline elite teams that people will argue over who's number one in those categories. But the Super Bowl champion, the reigning Super Bowl champion, is 8-4
Honestly,
off of
I
two
think the
straight
team that's
losses.
getting the most hype right now is the Texans. I think the Texans are the hottest team in the NFL right now.
The number one, they are actually hot, right? They're winning. They've won 3 games in a row. That's a huge deal. Both
The defense looks insane.
yeah, I mean, we said going into the year that this was probably the number one or at worst number three unit in the league, and it took a couple weeks for them to really get going. But since that 0-3 start, I mean, it has been pretty much lights out the whole rest of the way, and that defense is literally winning them games right now. And I think that Stroud playing a bit cleaner football, which he has, I will give him credit for that. He's been playing better
Hmm.
football than he has over the
He's
last
still
year and a
missing
half.
throws, but he's not turning it over.
Right. And that's a huge deal in the NFL. If he can continue
Hmm.
on that trajectory, like this is a very scary team. I would not want to play Houston in the playoffs because that defense is going to choke me out. It's going to suffocate me. And and look at the rest of their division. You know, the Colts were leading this division the whole way pretty much all season, and now they're starting to sputter. They're starting to limp their way into the dog days here, and now they're 8-4. They're not even in first place in the division anymore. It's Jacksonville, and you're looking at the decline of Indianapolis. You're looking at Jacksonville, who has won 3 games in a row now. I think
It
like
is
they're
kind of crazy to see Jacksonville and Niners are 8 and 9 win teams. That just doesn't make sense when you think about it.
I suppose. Definitely. I mean, think about again where Jacksonville was going into the bye. They were 4-3 going into the bye, 5-3, 5-4 after losing to Houston. They've won 3 straight since that disaster game. And you'd like to think like, okay, they're turning a corner. They're going to start like, and look at the schedule. I mean, Indianapolis doesn't look quite like themselves. They could get going. I think Jacksonville's a good chance for them to get going this week and win a game, get
Hmm.
back in momentum. But they've got the Jets, they've got the Titans again, who they just blew out. The Broncos, I still don't know what the Broncos are, frankly. But like
Embarrassing.
it's super reasonable to say, like, let's say for example the Colts do find a way to win in Jacksonville this week because it is a bit of a weaker defense and this could be what they need for momentum. If they lose this, I don't think that they're going to get swept by them. And let's say they beat the Jets because they're supposed to. Let's say they beat the Titans because they're supposed to. That's already 3 more wins. That makes them an 11-win team regardless of the result against Denver. They're in the driver's
Hmm.
seat, frankly, and I'm more bought into them right now than I am with the Colts because, again, the recent pedigree of success is in the Jaguars' favor. The Colts have now lost 2 in a row against the Chiefs and against the Texans, division rival Texans. That's another thorn in the side of the Colts right now. Like, you can't lose those types
Yep.
of games.
Their divisional record is going to plummet.
Yeah, it really could. And I think that it would be it's probably a very popular choice, as you alluded to. But if the betting line is there for those sports bettors out there, like, take a look at Houston to win the division and take a look at Jacksonville to make the wild card and for Indy to not make it at all. Because those are probably not
Or all
not
three of them to make it in.
it could
They
happen.
all have a lot of wins right now.
Yeah, it could happen. But again, just, if you're into that, into the sports betting, look at those numbers and see what looks the best, because I genuinely think that could happen, where the Texans make the 4
Mhm.
seed, the Jaguars make the 7, and or the 6 because of an 11 win record, right? And the Colts are out
Right.
because, frankly, winning 10 games this season might not mean that you make the playoffs. I mean, look at these races, man. It's pretty crazy. It's a little bit easier, I think, to visualize if I go
That's
to.
why I just don't see Kansas City making the playoffs. I don't think they have a path to make it in.
They have a lot of ground to cover if they do, which again can happen. They, like, for example, they have the head to head against Indianapolis, like that's a huge deal, right? But they don't have the head to head against Buffalo. They don't have the head to head against Jacksonville.
Mhm.
They do have the head to head against Baltimore. I mean, we'll see with the
Does
Steelers, but
Indianapolis play Buffalo?
I don't think so. No. And
They
look
do
at
not.
Indianapolis' schedule. That's fucking brutal. The Jaguars twice,
Seattle.
Seattle, San Francisco, and Houston. That's brutal.
They might only win one of those
They
games.
might. It is a reasonable conclusion to pull from that. It's crazy.
Unfortunately. They're a fun team to root for. I mean, we fuck with Vanilla Vic. We like Danny Knives.
Yeah, yeah. And that was a fun thing over the weekend too, where in the specific clip, we all picked the Colts. We were wrong. That's fine. But in the
But me,
specific clip, um, we won't talk about your prediction. It's okay. But
dude,
in
my
the
friend thought that the Texans pick was obvious, and he said that when that came across his feed, he said that he didn't know who I was. He was like, I thought better of you. He was like, for sure, I was gonna pick the Texans.
That's funny. But in that
Yeah.
clip, I literally said that I'm leaning Colts, but my hesitance with this game is that Daniel Jones is uncomfortable and doesn't play well. And every time that he's been uncomfortable, he has not played well. The Rams, the
The
Steelers, the
Steelers.
Chiefs, the Texans. Every time he's been uncomfortable. The Cardinals, they won because the Cardinals are bad. He was uncomfortable in that game, I'd say.
Yeah, he was not playing good in that game.
But that's it. That's it. Oh yeah, I was gonna talk about the seating here. I think it's a little easier to visualize maybe with the ESPN playoff machine here. I don't have it on the video. I'm sorry, folks. Maybe I'll screenshot it and add it in post. We'll see. But yeah, like the Chiefs 6-6, Pittsburgh 6-6, Baltimore of course 6-6 as well. The 7th seed Buffalo
Mhm.
is 8-4. And look at Buffalo, who, have not looked like world beaters recently either, by any means. But like the Bengals,
I will say with
that's a shootout.
Buffalo, Buffalo has had a problem being volatile against bad teams, but every good team they've faced, they've taken care of.
That's a fair point. It's kind of like a Broncos situation. They play down to bad teams, play up to good teams. Yeah, I can see that. But
Yeah.
like the Bengals, that's just shootout. I could see that going either way with Joe Burrow in there. Same thing with the Patriots. Like those are, let's say they split those games. Let's say they win against the Bengals and get swept by the Patriots. It can be the other way around too, though. But
Then
then
they're
they have
fucked for division.
Cleveland. Then yeah, they're winning. They're getting a wild card for sure. But let's say they win against Cleveland and they win against the Jets because they should win against both of those teams. And the Eagles haven't looked very good, so they win against the Eagles too. Like they could win
And that puts them
four.
at 12 wins.
They could not look very good and still win 4 or 5.
They
Moving
didn't
forward.
have that hard of a schedule, right?
I mean, it is the AFC East, so that's a part of it too, and the NFC South. So yeah, I guess not a very difficult schedule. Although they lost to the Falcons, that's a tough stain. But yeah, I mean, they could lose to both the Bengals and Patriots and still win 3 games and finish with an 11-6 record. I
Mhm.
mean, fucking KC. If KC were to match up to that, they'd have to win out. But then Buffalo has the head-to-head. KC's rooting for Buffalo to lose against the Browns or the Jets, essentially, in that scenario. I mean, it could be the Eagles too, but I don't think they're going to lose to the Bengals, Patriots, and Eagles. They're going to win
Probably
at least one of
not.
those.
The Bills don't lose that many games like that. They're a pretty consistent 11, 12 win team.
Right. And looking at the NFC side, it's not much different. The 7th seed is a 9-4 team. The 7th seed. Like there could very reasonably be like 3 or 4 9-10 win teams that do not make it this year because the bad teams are so bad and they're not winning games. They're not stealing games like they usually do.
It's so bad for the Saints, dude. We're fucked for draft stock. We're
Yeah.
so fucked.
You better hope you don't win anymore.
I know, dude. We can't.
But there is a scenario where in 2 weeks, based on how things could go, the 49ers are the number 1 seed. They go from 7-1 in 2 weeks. I
That
mean,
would be fucking bonkers.
but I mean the Cowboys outside looking in 6-5-1. Um, Arizona's out of it. New York, Washington's out of it. Detroit's on the outside right now. They're 7-5. 7-5 is a pretty good record. Crazy. Carolina, Tampa. That's a race to the finish there. That's a dead heat, man. I'm excited for that one. That
Mhm.
that should be fun. They play each other twice in the last 3 weeks.
I do think Carolina has the edge. Their schedule is so easy.
Tampa's is a cakewalk too. So Carolina, here's the thing. It's really about which team you prefer in the head-to-head. That's what it's going to come down to. If you think Carolina's going to win the head-to-head matchups there, then Carolina's going to win the division because they can lose to the Seahawks and beat the Saints off the bye like they should, and they end up with 10-7
Mhm.
record. And then it doesn't matter what the Bucks do; they can win against the Dolphins, Falcons, and Saints, and they're not winning the division because the Panthers swept. So
Right.
the ball is in either team's court. If they win the head-to-head, that team that wins the head to head wins the division. And on the flip side, the team that loses the division could finish with a 10-7 record and still be out of the playoffs.
Yep.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
And they could probably be 2 games back from that 7 seed at 10-7.
Yeah, they could. They really could.
Fucking bonkers NFL season, man.
I think it's been fun. The sloppiness is unfortunate. It's been like rampant in every game, and that's actually been my dud of the week. For this week is what did I write here? Way too many offenses are
Yeah.
my duds of the week because
Way too many college mistakes in NFL offenses.
the Vikings, woof. The Cardinals were okay, I guess. The Eagles, woof. The Lions, woof. The Saints and Dolphins, woof. The Falcons, woof. Browns, woof. Steelers, Raiders, Titans. Like that's 10 teams with
The
horrific offenses.
Broncos.
The Broncos, woof. Yeah. But that genuinely,
Ugh.
like, that's at least 10 teams with, like, really bad offense this year.
Just been gross to watch.
But it,
Not
it might
enjoyable.
it might lead to the most fun playoffs that we've had, especially if the Chiefs aren't in the dance. I
It
think.
could lead to the craziest fucking fantasy playoffs. I have like as an 8 seed, I have like a decent chance to beat the 1 seed.
Mhm, yeah, it's crazy, absolutely crazy.
Hmm.
But yeah, if we don't have any more storylines really to talk about, um, you know, after week 13, heading into week 14, we can just put the teams into tiers real quick. I didn't label them. I can do that right now while if you wanna start putting teams in tiers.
You know, we can go ahead and put the obvious ones up there. So we got Cardinals in F tier, Saints in F tier, Giants F tier, Jets F tier.
Okay, I agree. I'm bringing the super cursed back because the Rams lost and they were in the S tier last week. Probably still going to remain there. We'll
Beautiful.
see. We'll see where we go. I actually did you say the Jets?
Hmm.
I'm going to push back. I think they've moved up to D tier at this point, which I am. It's not going to be dead men walking anymore. It's just going to be dead men because the odds of them, any team in this tier, making a comeback for the wild card race or anything is pretty much null and void. So I think dead men is better at this point in the season. And man, they played some frisky football the last couple of weeks, and they ended up winning against the Falcons. Granted, the Falcons are terrible right now, but I think that win has to count for something at least. And they are now showing flashes on defense, which is what Aaron Glenn came in to do. You know,
Yeah, but they were also like the second lowest team on the tier list. So, like, are we really moving them up a tier?
uh, I guess you're right. I
I
don't
mean, yeah,
know.
I guess so. I guess we have to if we're moving the Cardinals, Giants, and Browns down.
Yeah, I think so. I think both. I think that's good. I think the Raiders or Titans are the worst in the NFL. Doesn't really matter.
We need to get the
Um,
Vikings in F tier too.
we had the Vikings in F tier last week, and that was great foresight. uh, Cleveland's probably the best of the F tier teams. Maybe Washington. It's probably Washington. They played
I would say it's
they played
Washington.
fairly well against the Broncos.
Hmm.
Um, D
Maybe the
so D
Giants, if we
tier.
have the Giants in F tier, can be top of F tier.
Ugh.
Either that or bottom of D tier.
I might want to put the Washington Commanders up in D. I don't think they're worse than New York.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll let you have that.
They lost. I don't know why I'm rooting for them, but Saints belong down here. Also, we have so many teams in F tier. Fuck you, football.
Yep. That's the F tier. Fuck you, football. That's what the
Cardinals
fans of
are
those teams are saying. Actually,
over
put the
there.
Falcons in F tier too because they don't have their first round pick. Fuck
True.
you, Falcons, for giving the Rams a fucking perfect position to get a quarterback.
We should put these up here. I think the Patriots are probably just a little bit ahead of the Rams now because the Rams lost. The Patriots won.
The Patriots should be at the top of everyone's power rankings. I agree. They're on a 10-game winning streak.
Yeah, and a lot of people talking about the strength of victory this week as well. I've noticed this. People talk about strength of victory as if the strength of the victory that it is this week applied when it was in week 3. And that to me is bizarre. Like, obviously, a team that's bad now, you could argue was bad the whole time. They were just masquerading as a good team before. Part of the reason we have a bougie tier on our tier list.
Right.
But if a team is playing well and then you know, New England beats that team in week 5 and now that team sucks, i.e., the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, although that wasn't week 5, that was like week 8 or whatever. But
Hmm.
like, how are we going to discredit that win from them? And it was a convincing win too, you know. Um, I think when a team dominates bad opponents the way that they're supposed to, that should not be a knock against them. And that's something actually that I can relate to.
Also, strength of schedule in the NFL is so much less meaningful than it is in college.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Yeah.
Like, every NFL team can beat every NFL team. The 138th college football team cannot beat Ohio State in 100 games. They are not winning any of them. And
Going
I will
into
stand
the
by that.
going into the season, the 49ers had the easiest strength of schedule. And for the most part that's held up. You know, Saints, Cardinals twice, Falcons, Giants, right? But look at this final
Hmm.
stretch. The Titans, okay. But then the Colts, Bears, and Seahawks.
Brown, yeah,
That's a tough
Colts,
three-game
Bears, and
stretch,
Seahawks.
you know?
Yeah, you have the two toughest NFC teams in your division. You have to play the Seahawks and Rams twice,
Yeah. Like that's not a like
and you won one of those games
yeah. Two of them so far,
against
yeah.
the Rams. I mean, sorry, I forgot you guys have already played the Seahawks too.
Yeah. Um that's fun too. Week 1 and then week 18. That's always fun.
Hmm.
But my point is like this was supposed to be the easiest schedule going into it. Well, they lost to the 8-4 Jaguars. They lost to the 6-5 Texans, the hottest team in football right now. They lost to the 9-3 Rams, the 7-5 Buccaneers, who were much better at the time than they were now. And their final 3-game stretch is at the moment looking rough. Like there's a reasonable outcome where they lose 2 of those 3 games. And they could finish the season 2-2 with a 11-6 record. You know, point is, trends
That would be
change,
brutal.
things change. It's any given Sunday, and as a Niner fan, I can actually relate to what the Patriots and probably the Patriots fans as well are going through with people talking about their team as fraudulent right now, because in 2019 the 49ers went through a very similar fate. They went 3-13, or 4-12 actually, the year before. In 2018,
Mm-hmm.
Jimmy Garoppolo tore his ACL in week 2 of that year. 4-12. They have the second overall pick. They draft Nick Bosa. We all know the story. But like every week that season in 2019, it was okay. This is the true test for the Niners. This is the true test. If they win this game, they're real contenders. If they win, and
Week 14 was the truest test.
and what we saw was the goalposts continuing to shift further and further back. It was never the true test. And even when they made the Super Bowl, it was still, oh man, they're probably a fraudulent team. Like they can't even win the Super Bowl. That's crazy. It's such bizarre behavior. You need to credit a team when they're winning, and when they're winning as
I
consistently,
don't
and when
know,
they're
man.
beating down on opponents.
I disagree. As soon as you guys beat us in week 14, I knew y'all were legit. That game was so crazy. That's one of the
that
best games I've ever
that
seen.
is that is wild. I was filming a Spanish project with some classmates at my house, and unfortunately during the game, or during portions of the game, we were filming, and we would take breaks and
Uh-huh.
watch the game, and we all sat on the couch and watched the Robbie Gold game-winning field goal it, while we were taking a break from filming our Spanish project.
Love that.
It was a
That's such
crazy,
a core memory.
yeah, it was a crazy game.
Yeah. For those who don't know, just go back and watch 2019 week 14, Saints versus 49ers.
Yep.
Wowie. People talk about Rams versus Chiefs. No, Saints 49ers.
You know what's
That was the
funny?
game. Trust me.
What's so funny too about those two games and them happening in the same year as well? But the
Hmm.
same year, right? Or was that 2018, the
Yep.
Rams Chiefs?
No, it was 2018 Rams Chiefs, 2019 Saints
Okay.
Niners.
So what's
Because
so?
that was when the Rams still had those fugly yellow unis.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. You're right. What was so funny about that though was how, when they were talking about the Chiefs Rams in 2018, 54-51, by the way, like the most
Hmm.
combined points ever type of deal. But the
Right.
narrative going in afterwards was like, these are two juggernaut teams. These are the two best teams in the NFL, and they were in that game and for a large portion of the season. But after the Saints Niners thriller the next year, it was, man, these defenses kind of sus. Like, what is what is the goalpost shifting here? What is happening?
It's like they just played Drew Brees, prime Michael Thomas, prime Alvin Kamara
Yeah.
with fuck, who is our who fucking hell, Jimmy fuck, tight end, Jimmy something.
Are you really struggling,
Yes.
Jimmy Graham?
Yeah, Jimmy Graham, thank you.
I thought you were I thought you were doing a bit. My bad.
No, I was just struggling, dude, my bad.
Yeah. But
Like, okay, sorry that we gave up 40 to that offense.
yeah.
My bad.
But
MVP,
that was
like,
the narrative. Don't you remember that? Like that was the narrative. Like, oh, this top tier defense that's shut a team out like multiple times this year. Like that's never happened before in the NFL. They give up 42 points to like one of the best, or 46 points to one of the best
one of the best
offenses in
offenses of the decade.
I don't know about this defense anymore.
Yeah,
Wild.
it's like the 2018 Bears when they played the Packers. It's like, yeah, but they just gave up 20 plus to prime Aaron Rodgers. I don't know. They might not be that good.
Right, right. Yeah. It's funny how narratives work, and if you're not I hate to use the word, but if you're not smart enough to read through the lines, then you're going to fall for it every time. So
Oh yeah.
be a little bit more vigilant with your media consumption, including us. If you disagree
Yeah.
with something we say, please let us know. Uh,
Yes. Call us out. I am frequently wrong. I have
we
come
all
to
are.
notice.
We all are, and it takes a man to admit when they're wrong.
Yeah, it does.
All right, let's fill out the rest of this tier list. Anything else we want to put in our D tier here? Dead men. I'm not sure actually.
Honestly, I don't think anybody else is really deserving of being down there.
It's kind of crazy to look at it because it feels like more teams have like we've had so many bad teams this year. Like all these teams are bad, but I don't
Hmm.
know if we've ever had this many teams like having a legitimate shot at the postseason one way or another at week
I
14.
don't know if we have either. And it's crazy because a lot of these teams have like a shit ton of wins too.
Yeah.
But I like we're not gonna have a lot of C tier teams anymore. Like our C tier teams are pretty much just gonna be who the Bengals and that's it. The Bengals and the Ravens.
I think the whole AFC North can go up there.
Oh, I forgot we still
Um,
have the Steelers.
I mean, the Bengals just beat the
The Browns
Ravens,
are
but the
definitely not
Ravens
going.
are 2 games ahead of them for the
Ravens
division.
above the Bengals. I would say Bengals in the middle.
Yeah. I mean, you could
And
put
then
the
we can just
maybe the
call it the
Bucks.
AFC North.
Maybe the Bucks belong there.
I
It's been a
guess. I
rough
can see it.
skid. It's been a rough skid. Um,
Momentum has them down for sure.
yeah. I man, where did we have them last week? Top of bougie. Man, I almost want to put the Lions down there too. I am really concerned with how they've been looking. And I think that Dan Campbell is an atrocious play caller.
Yeah,
Atrocious.
I didn't even know that he was calling plays, but that's really bad. And the fourth down thing is getting really cringe. You're not playing smart football anymore, dude. You're just being dumb.
Yeah. He called one good game. What was it? Right after the Vikings game? I think it was right after the Vikings game. Yeah, against the Commanders. He called a great game. And since then, it's
They
been
popped off.
dreadful. And I mean,
And now they don't have St. Brown,
yep.
and they're going up against the hot Cowboys team. This is, I mean, I'm not picking the Cowboys, but it does have upset written all over it,
Yeah, I think they might belong at the top of C at this point.
which is crazy because we're gonna have the Cowboys in B.
Yeah, I think they've earned it. What is it? 3 straight wins, 2 of them against
I think we
really
had
good
them in B last
opponents.
week too.
Actually, they beat. Yeah, we did. We had them at bottom of B. You're right. They beat
They beat
the
the Chiefs,
they beat the Chiefs and the
who we
Eagles.
could put in C tier. We can put the Eagles and Chiefs
Actually,
in C
that's
tier
true.
and
We
move the
could put the
Lions
Chiefs
up.
in here. Yeah, 100%. I don't know. Maybe the Lions. I'll move them up for now. Maybe they go back down. We'll
Yeah, and
see.
then the Eagles in C tier.
That might be that. That's kind
That's
of.
it, dude.
That might be. It might be. It really might. Wow. Something, huh? Oh, that was the
We
other
never
thing
thought we'd be here.
about the Bears fans and stuff talking about and as well as the Broncos fans talking about their strength of victory or whatever this season, blah blah blah. You know why their team should be ranked number one in the power rankings and shit like that. They
Mhm.
both have beaten the teams that were in the Super Bowl last year, and they both beat the world champion Philadelphia Eagles. It's like, my man, are we really? It's week 14 of the next
Why are
season.
we still
Are we
talking
really
about
talking about
last year?
exactly? Why are we still talking about last year's Super Bowl as if that has any impact on what these teams look like? I have seen teams go from the Super Bowl to a 6-11 squad battered with injuries the very next year in the 49ers. This happened 2 years ago. It's happened
It
twice,
happened
actually, with the 49ers. Twice. After the Super Bowl, they win 6 games the
after
next
both
year.
of them. Brutal.
Anyway,
And you knew it was going to happen to him.
yeah. Bears up in A tier. We had the foresight again to put them ahead of the Eagles in A tier last week, so that was a great call, and they're definitely moving up
Yep,
even more from there. The
absolutely.
point differential I think is a little bit misleading. I understand being concerned that they can't like beat a team down and they can't just win by multiple scores and everything has to be a one score game. But I think that again, winning games that you're supposed to win is important. So beating the Raiders by 1 point, yes, it's by 1 point, but it's a game that they should win. Same thing with the
Mhm.
Commanders. And those are huge wins down the stretch. And if you win those games while looking a little bit fraudulent earlier in the season, and then you can really find your footing right now in a critical moment where you can take control of your division and get the 1 seed, which they currently have for the NFC playoff
Mhm.
race, like this is the perfect time to get hot. This is the perfect time to know what you are as a team. And so I think they're getting hot at the right time, as are some other teams like the Houston Texans. Dare I say put in A tier right now, or maybe top of
Honestly,
B?
they're playing A tier level football right now.
I think so. And that defense is just
There are very
unbelievable.
few teams who are there are very few teams who I'm picking against the Texans right now. Honestly, it might only be the Patriots.
Oh man, I think my list is a little bit longer, but I'm not happy about it. Not happy at all. I want to move the Colts down to B again. You know, they lost another tough one against a division opponent. They haven't looked quite like themselves from earlier in the season, and like they're trending down
Right.
at the wrong time. You know, Texans are trending up, Bears are trending up at the right time. The Colts are not. I actually have the Cowboys ahead of them.
I would also have the Cowboys ahead of them. Although I do think if they played, I would probably pick the Colts.
Oh, it's a tough one. Toss up, I think. I think any of these three teams here are a toss up. Carolina
I think
probably
that's fair.
belongs in B as well. But where? We have a lot
I
of.
think they're about the Lions, probably.
Okay, I could see that. We've got a sea of blue here. Are we going to keep the trend going with Buffalo? Or are they in A tier once again?
Nah, I'm definitely high on the Bills. They're an A tier team for me.
Fair enough.
I don't see how they can move down.
Yeah, yeah. They shouldn't move down. Denver
The
Broncos, we had them
the most
ahead,
unconvincing A tier team.
but yet they here they are.
Probably below the Bears, right there.
I think so. Yeah, that's probably right. And in a similar fashion to the Patriots, it's good to credit them when they're winning games. And you know, it's a game that they should win against the Commanders, but it's with my take on the Broncos, it's more about I am not expecting them to be needle movers in the playoffs. Where I can still credit them for what they're doing now and having such a great record, but I don't think
Hmm.
this translates to success against only good teams. You know what I mean? Where you aren't going to be playing a bad team, you know, when you get to the dance. You're only going to be playing good teams.
Hmm.
I don't think that's sustainable.
I would agree.
But it remains to be seen. You know, they could win out. Who knows? Green Bay
Nah,
Packers.
fuck the Broncos.
Where do we have them last week? I think we had them
Um,
B. Yeah. It was a
you know,
good
they
win.
get a really solid win against the Lions here. They're still the seventh seed in the NFC.
6.
They're still pretty unproven. Six, sorry. They're still pretty unproven though. I would say they're right above the Colts, below the Cowboys.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think if these two teams played each other again, it would not be a tie.
Mm. And I think it would go in the blue.
Yeah. Jacksonville Jaguars, 3-game win streak, similar to their division rival Texans. Better record, maybe not as convincing right now though. They were in C tier last week, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, we definitely have been a lot lower on the Jags since their fall off, and it's because their wins have not been convincing. Um, but we do have to reward 3-game win streak, and they do take care of business against one of the worst teams in football. And for that, we will go ahead and give them right above the Colts in B tier.
All right, fair enough. That's fine. LA Chargers up next took care of business against the Raiders, but they got trounced the week before against the Jaguars. Are they just a bad road team? And is that going to matter a lot because they're probably not winning the
They
division?
are definitely a stinky road team, which makes it even more impressive that they beat the Chiefs in Brazil. But
Yeah.
uh,
The Chiefs are just that bad, man.
they really are. But I would say they're still a B quality team. I would put them above the Lions personally.
I think I would take ooh. It was the Raiders. Herbert's banged up. Okay.
Do you not agree?
That's fine. I they probably should be a little bit higher, but I don't know if I can give a good enough argument for being ahead of the Panthers or the Colts or the Jaguars, who they just got destroyed by.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that the Panthers are a team that should be above the Chargers personally.
That's fair. I love the Panthers love, unless they're playing the Niners. Who is up
Niners
next?
bottom of A tier, but actually no, Niners are definitely above the Bills.
Probably.
Are they
Defense is playing
above
better.
the?
No, I don't think.
I'd say above the Texans.
You think so?
Yeah, because the Texans are still a 7-win team.
Six, no, 6-6,
7.
7-5. Oh, shit, they were even better than I thought. All right, and then Seahawks, I think, still up here in the top
Top of A
five.
tier.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, that's our tier list.
I like that.
Superheroes, supervillains, super curse, Super Bowl. We got the Patriots on top now, but the Rams still in second place at the top of this tier list. Then we got awesome. We got the Seahawks, the Bears, the Broncos, the Niners, the Texans, and the Bills. And then in bougie, we've got the Dallas Cowboys, the Packers, the Jaguars, the Colts, the Panthers, the Chargers, and the Lions. And then in can't stand it, our C tier, we've got the Eagles, the Buccaneers, the Chiefs, the Ravens, the Bengals, and the Steelers. And then in dead men, we've got the Jets, the Dolphins, and the Commanders. And then in fuck you football, our F tier this week, we've got the Giants, the Browns, the Falcons, the Cardinals, the
Great name.
Vikings, the Saints, the Titans, and the Raiders.
Long list.
Yeah.
A lot of fucking horrible football teams,
Yeah.
but you know.
A lot of birds being flipped every week at the TV.
Definitely so. I think the Giants are definitely the top of F tier because I think their fans are having fun with this season. Outside of the neighbor's injury, I think they're having fun
Hmm.
with this season. Well, and the Scotabo injury and the dart concussions. They're having fun.
Yeah. Actually, I wanted to talk about. I watched this video on YouTube earlier today, actually, and it was talking about the worst situations in football right now. And the four teams that were talked about were the Raiders, the Titans, the Cardinals, and the Falcons. And I think those are pretty good choices, but I want to hear like what is, in your opinion, the
Wait,
worst.
go ahead.
What is, in
The
your opinion,
worst
the worst situation in football right now?
Falcons.
I might agree. Yeah.
You have the most you have the most cap tied up in the quarterback position while also having the worst quarterback room in the league outside of the Saints, but the Saints have a top pick and you don't. And your top pick is going to go to a team that is an abundance of riches and they're going to get another quarterback who's young and with elite upside and going to a perfect quarterback coach to go to. And you just set that team up for success in your conference. So thank you, Falcons. We really appreciate that. Shout out you guys
Yeah.
for really needing James Pierce Jr. instead of just fucking drafting him over Jalen Walker, who has been a complete bust and a waste of your first round pick.
Yeah. I think the video was from Football Analysis. That's the channel name, I think. I'll get that fact checked right now,
Yeah.
but
I
um
hate I hate the background music in his videos, but everything else is cool about his content. He does a good job.
yeah, I thought it was well thought out, well paced. I've only seen a couple of his videos before, but it was well done. But he said a lot of the same things that you just said here, and I'll add to it that it's obvious that they're going to be cleaning house. in the offseason too. Raheem Morris is definitely gone. Zach Robinson, as he so politely put it in his video, is in over his head as the offensive coordinator position. And
Yeah, you have an abundance of talent and can't hit touchdowns. It's insane.
yeah, and the general manager as well. I forget his name, but he's probably gone too. I haven't, and I actually really agreed with Fontenot. That's right, Terry Fontenot. I really actually agreed with what he had to say about him as well. Not that he's done an imperfect job, but moves like the move to trade up to for James Pearson last year's draft with this quarterback situation as it's now presented is just an inexcusable move. And that those are
And
moves that
drafting Michael Penix is already an
yeah,
inexcusable move in the
yeah.
first place. People are accusing it because of how bad Kirk Cousins was, but they paid Kirk Cousins $200 million over 4 years, and then took a 25-year-old quarterback in the first round.
With an
It
extensive injury
was
history.
with 2 torn ACLs in his past.
Hmm.
It was mismanagement on a catastrophic level.
Hmm.
The amount of things that could go wrong here and have gone wrong and are going to continue to go wrong because Jalen Walker isn't going to be good. So you're going to have James Pierce Jr. to build your team around, and that is it. That's all you got. You're going to be in a Jet situation where you have Quentin Williams and AJ Terrell, and you're like, okay, can we get anything out of them? And those guys are not Sauce Gardner, or sorry, not Quentin Williams and AJ Terrell. They had Quentin Williams and Sauce Gardner. You're going to have AJ Terrell and James Pierce, and you're not going to be able to get what the Jets got for their two guys. You're going to be able to get some kind of scraps if you do end up trading AJ Terrell, and then in a couple of years if you trade James Pierce, you'll be able to get some scraps. But you won't even be able to get remotely what the Jets got for their two players. And you are in a way worse situation because you already lost your first round pick because you wanted to trade up like 10 spots at the end of the first round. It was horrible value. You didn't need to give up a first to do that in the first place. It was just so bad on so many levels. And it looks even worse when a guy like Carson Schwarzenegger goes after that pick. And you're just like, okay, so the best rookie defender in football is going after that pick, and you're trading up a first round pick next year, which is going to be a top 5 pick probably because you're so fucking incompetent.
Yeah.
And it's just so embarrassing. And I'm just, yeah, the Falcons suck, dude.
Now imagine this scenario. Okay. Fresh start, new head coach, new GM, new offensive coordinator, whoever that may be. I'm not even sure what the head coaching carousel is going to look like this offseason. But, let's say that they're all fairly respectable hires. Maybe there's a little bit of credibility to this new regime that's in Atlanta, and they have to look forward. It's not an untalented roster. You have to believe in your young players still. You still have AJ Terrell rostered, right? Still have Drake London on offense, Bijan Robinson, a decent O line. So, like, why wouldn't you, because you lack the first round pick, why wouldn't you just tell Arizona, hey, I'll take Kyler's contract. I'll have him quarterback us, and maybe we're mid. Maybe it doesn't pan out in the best way, but that at least makes your team a palatable product for the next couple years for the remainder of his contract. Then you get a new quarterback after a couple years. Maybe that's a move that they
Mm-hmm.
should make.
I don't think it's a bad idea.
Who knows? We'll see. I actually honorable mention for the worst situation that was not brought up in that video though was the Washington Commanders. I think this is a really, really rough situation. But luckily, it feels like they have the main piece that you need, which is the quarterback, right? That's what makes it
Right.
instantly more attractive. That's what I think makes ultimately the Titans' job, despite how bad the roster is, that makes that job a little bit more attractive than, say, the Raiders or the Falcons or the Saints, maybe. Who knows? We'll see about that one.
I
But
think the Titans job is infinitely more attractive because if you have the number one pick, the amount of trade value that you get
yeah,
out of that is so, so good.
right,
You're going to be able to trade down like 4 or 5 spots, get an elite receiver, and have 2 first round picks in the future.
right. Yeah, totally agree. But the Commanders, you don't feel like this regime, if they have another mid or bad season, I don't expect Dan Quinn or Kingsbury to stick around. Kingsbury might even be in the next head coaching circuit. Who knows? But you
which
don't
would be
expect
crazy. He's so
it
bad.
would be, but you never know. I mean, freaking Joe Brady's getting head coach buzz. But so they leave, and you're stuck with the oldest team in the NFL. You traded assets for Marshawn Lattimore, for Laramie Tunsil, for Debo Samuel. That is completely desaturated your day two and day three picks over the next couple of seasons. So now you don't have the roster because they're old and untalented and small and slow, which is what I've been saying that they are on defense for the last 2 years. They're small and slow, and that's why they suck on defense. So you have all those issues. You have a quarterback who might not be the same after this injury. We'll see, especially if he rushes back on a lost season. Who knows? Um,
Right.
it's already not the best O line. It's a pretty bad run game. They don't know who they want to be the feature back. Terry McLaurin and Debo Samuel aren't getting any younger. They're from the same draft class. Um, and so you look at this team, and with the lack of draft picks, they have their day one still, but they don't have much else beyond that. Like, where's the optimism there? I don't know. I think that's a pretty bad situation.
It's in the offensive line. They need to draft perfectly if it's gonna get better, and it's not looking good right now. Because their first round pick this last year has been a complete and utter failure.
Yeah,
The Oregon tackle, he has not panned out at all.
happens. Yeah, I don't know. It sucks because you want to be optimistic about the team after going to the NFC
I would say the
Championship game.
Dolphins are near the top five worst situations too.
You
The
think so?
Dolphins are not in a good spot because you're still like paying Tua for the next 2 years at least.
I don't think it's too bad. I understand the Tua thing. Let's look at this contract real quick. But it's a fresh start for a GM. You might not even need to get a new head coach. It seems like Mike McDaniel has at least coached his way into at least one more year of borrowed time there. But the defense has kind of come together the last couple of weeks. They've got some pieces, especially young guys. The offensive line has come together over
Yeah,
time.
but it's gonna promote stagnant. It's gonna keep them stagnant.
It might, and you're totally right. But they also aren't lacking in draft picks either, like the Commanders are, for example. They have their picks, and they
Hmm.
more than likely, like, Tyreek Hill is probably gone. They could probably get something for him. Maybe not much at this point in his career, but something, you know. Just adding that much more to the draft capital. And so I don't know if I mean it's not a good situation by any means, but it's probably like closer to the bottom 10 than bottom 5.
I guess that's fair.
Where's the contract?
Would you say the Saints are a bottom five situation?
Uh the reason I would say probably is because the good players on this roster, a lot of them at least, are
Are
not
old?
going to be around, for
Yeah.
the new quarterback, for the new O line, all that stuff. Cam Jordan's gone. Freaking Demario Davis is
You
gone.
do,
Kamara's gone soon.
yeah, but you do have Kelvin Banks. You do have the Oregon State guy. You do have
Fuaga.
a really, yeah, Taliese Fuaga. You still have a 29-year-old Eric McCoy.
So it's like I said, it's not all bad, but that defense is
I
going to need to
think
be
the O
rebuilt.
line is in a good spot, and you're going to get your quarterback this year. Praise God, please, Mickey Loomis. Do not fuck this up. You're going to get your quarterback this year. He'll be behind a solid O line, at least a young O line, and you have a good offensive play caller at minimum for a head coach.
Yeah.
It's not the worst situation.
No.
De-
Um,
definitely not the Falcons.
no, for sure not. The I think the reason they're probably closer to top 5 than top 10 for me though is like you do still have to nail the quarterback draft pick, and there's going to be a lot of
Hmm.
pressure for that quarterback to probably be, well, maybe not by the fans necessarily. I think the fans are like you are more than okay with sucking for a few years if it means rebuilding this team and getting top capital and getting good players, but Like if you take a
Right.
high profile player, the media is going to put that pressure on them immediately to be good, and that could prove to be overwhelming for whoever they do select, and that could alter their future as well. I do think that the coach is the right choice. Uh, I can't really say the same about the rest of the staff there, but
Yeah, dude. I swear, Brandon Staley, if you don't get fired, dude, get the fuck out of my team.
and
But
that where most of my concerns lie is in the defense. It's old and it's not good. And unfortunately, a
yeah,
lot of the draft picks that have been invested on the defense have not panned out.
I think that's all
Tua's
valid
contract,
criticism.
4 years,
I don't disagree.
212. We'll do that.
But I
167
think if we get rid of
guaranteed.
Brandon Staley, I don't
So that
see a lot of
means
issues with this team moving forward. And I think
it's electric.
offensively we'll be fine, especially with the breakout season that Chris Olave is having.
Yeah, he's quietly doing really well.
He's like wide receiver like 13 on the season for fantasy or something like that. It's been pretty solid.
Okay, so they do have a potential out here after the 2026 season going into 2027. So if they wanted to move on from Tua, I imagine they do. They would, maybe have him on the bench for one more year, and that sucks that much dead cap is just sitting on the bench. But what else are you going to do? And you either get a rookie in, or maybe take a flyer for one season on a guy like Quinn Ewers, who you already have on your team, who is talented. Don't get me wrong, and
And
it
he
could
has played
work.
well.
Yeah. So like I think that's a viable scenario, and I don't think it's as bad despite this huge number because it does get way smaller right afterwards.
Right, but you still have 18 million minimum in cap space.
No,
Right? Oh wait, if you cut it so if
it
you
would
cut
be
him after 2026, you have the
it'd be 31
yeah,
in dead cap, 32, and
and
then
then 18 the
18.5.
following
Yeah,
year, yeah. Yeah, see, that's still a lot of
it is
cap
a lot.
space, but I guess that basically just takes away your cap increase in 2028, and then it takes away 30 million next year. But you're not going to be competitive next year. It just means that you're probably going to struggle to be competitive for the next 2 seasons.
Right. Well, we'll see. Still, of course, a lot of season ahead of us, a lot of off season ahead of that as well. Do we want to do our quick pickums before we do Pro Bowl vote, or would you rather do Pro Bowl vote?
Let's just do quick pickums real quick and get
Okay,
it out of the way, and then we can finish on our Pro Bowl vote.
sounds good. Let me deselect these. All right, we've got. Where's our Thursday night game? Thursday night football. The Dallas Cowboys on the road against the Detroit Lions. One team lost last Thanksgiving. The other team won last Thanksgiving. And now here they both are on Thursday night football once again. Dallas is rolling. Dallas is going to go on a run here. I said it against Kansas City last week that I think both teams going into that game were equally capable of going on a run, and the winner of the game probably more likely to succeed, of course, in going on that run. So I am going to be taking Dallas here. They've just been playing better ball. I'm not bought into Dan Campbell as a play caller. I think he's called a pretty atrocious 3 straight games here, and Detroit is like lacking in identity, and the defensive backs are also injured right now. Terry and Arnold out for the season. This could be a
Mm-hmm.
field day for CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens.
Yeah, Pickens has been playing like the best receiver in football the last couple weeks. He's going to continue to tear up this defense. I said that I wasn't going to pick the Cowboys, but now that I've thought about the pick more, it's definitely leaning more towards Dallas. So I'm riding with the hot hand here as well.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. And I think really a big factor is the secondary health of Detroit. They're just not going to be able to cover these guys.
No, and they don't have enough. They don't have the talent, even when healthy, to cover the receiving room that the Cowboys have. Not that many people do.
Right. Next up, Sunday morning, we've got the Miami Dolphins on the road against the New York Jets. I think sneakily tough because, weather's a factor always when you talk about the Dolphins in December, right? It is in New York. New York is cold. They don't have a dome. It is the Jets though, and that's like the real like issue here is that it's two bad teams.
Right.
But like the Jets, I thought were a little bit impressive last week against the Falcons, pulling off that upset victory that we all called on the show. Actually, we all three picked the Jets, which was really
Yeah.
surprising, and it happened. I'm actually going to do it again this week.
I am also taking the Jets here. Sorry, Brophy. They're just the better team right now, and they're at home. And I think that Garrett Wilson is probably going to continue to have a day. Or not Garrett Wilson, sorry. Adonai Mitchell is going to go off and have another day. I just don't see the Dolphins covering him. He's been open every game he's played. He just hasn't had the hands,
Yeah,
and he looks like he found them finally.
maybe. Yeah, that would be a nice turnaround success story. Next up,
Absolutely.
the Pittsburgh Steelers on the road against the Baltimore Ravens. Both teams kind of soul searching right now, looking, they're tossing the division back and forth. No, you win it. No, you win it. No, you win it. And kind of quite frankly, like both of them might not be seeing the train behind them pushing forward with the Joe Burrow led Bengals here, but
Yeah, and the Cincinnati Bengals.
but I do think this is a perfect opportunity. I thought it was a perfect opportunity last week for Lamar to right the ship, with his own playing woes, with the defensive woes. But I mean, if you play against two bad defenses back to back, something's got to give, right? So I'm going to take the Ravens until like they beat the ever living shit out of me for continuing to pick them.
Yeah, I'm definitely taking the Ravens here, and I alluded to it on the show last time. The Ravens, I still are very confident, and Lamar's been playing rough, but he's going to figure it out. They win this game pretty handily, I think.
Okay. Next up, another division rivalry and a very meaningful one. The not the Detroit Lions, the Chicago Bears on the road against the Green Bay Packers. Both of them really nice victories on primetime last week. Jacob, what you got?
I've got to go with the Chicago Bears here. I've been riding with them a lot this season. I think it's just because I have a newfound respect for Bears fans because they're so much less insufferable than the Justin Fields era fans. And so I'm kind of just supporting the team now. But I've just been a fan of this team this year. They've been really fun to watch. Caleb Williams isn't the best quarterback, but he's playing solid football. He's taking care of the ball. And this rushing offense is just so much fun to watch. Ben Johnson's play calling has been really good down the stretch. And I think they're going to go in there and take care of business here against the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah, I think this is a really, really close thriller of a defensive game. We're getting to the point in the football season where, I think about my childhood and waking up in the morning and, it doesn't snow here in Fresno, but like you saw a snow game. You saw a snow game in Green Bay or in Pittsburgh or in Buffalo, really
Hmm.
cold, but just winter football, the Christmas trees up, all the vibes are nice, nice and warm and toasty inside the house. And this game just feels like one of those classics to me. I think both matchups that they have coming up, they play each other twice in 3 weeks. Absolute thriller, and it will determine the division. I'm leaning the Bears right now. I think
Oh,
they're
yeah.
just a little bit more clutch.
Yeah, there's no more owning the Bears.
There actually hasn't been. Didn't the Bears sweep them last year?
Oh, I'm not sure. I don't remember.
Let's check real quick. Bears 2024 season. No, they split. But they lost by
Still better.
1 point. And they won by 2 points.
Owned. They own the
Yeah,
Packers now.
fuck you. All right. Next up, another division matchup that has a lot of implications. The Indianapolis Colts on the road against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Jacob, what you got?
I am hedging the bet. The Colts are going to get it figured out here. They're going to go on the road here and they're going to take on the Liam Cohen Jags. And they're going to be like, okay, dude, the last few weeks you've been winning. Your play calling is still really bummy. And so we're going to get you figured out, pick you off a couple times. And I think they're going to win by one score. It'll be a close game, though.
You know what? I'm really with you here on this one. I don't know if the Colts will right the ship for their season overall. That might just be this is what the Colts are, and it was easier opponents earlier in the year, and they were able to steamroll them. Not that they're incapable of being a good football team or anything like that, but maybe this is more their
Hmm.
reality. But this is a perfect game for them to get right if they do, because it's against Jacksonville. It's not a very good defense. It's, of course, a division opponent, so it's very meaningful as well. But bad defense and bad pass defense, which means Daniel Jones should have time and should be able to find his receivers. So I've got the Colts, but also one-score game. Should be close.
Mm-hmm.
Next up, the Washington Commanders on the road against the Minnesota Vikings. Both teams look like shit, kind of play like shit every week. It's been
This is the least interesting game on the season, maybe.
I don't know. It might be entertaining just for how bad the quarterback play is. I mean, we'll see. Not that Mariota's been very bad, but the Vikings have been a sight to behold with whoever they trot out there.
Yeah, Brosmer is he had a Nathan Peterman debut.
Yeah, woof. Rough one. No Brock
At
Purdy
least
there.
his 4 interceptions were spread across the 4 quarters instead of one half.
Yeah, fair point. But who you got for this one?
Probably the Commanders. You know, even though the Vikings are the home team here, the Commanders are probably the better football team. Maybe. I don't know. Who cares? Honestly.
Yeah, I don't really care either, but I am actually going to be picking the Commanders as well. I do think they are the slightly better team right now. I think they will get more going on offense than the Vikings will, which is kind of shocking given the two defenses that they're going against here. But the Vikings just look so inept. The play calling's been bad. Obviously, the quarterback play has been dreadful, no matter who they trot out there. So I'm going to lean the Commanders, even with Mariota. Mariota, frankly, at times has played better than Jaden Daniels has this year.
Yeah, honestly, pretty much every game.
Yeah. Next up, the Tennessee Titans. Another stinker, by the way. The Tennessee Titans on the road against the Cleveland Browns. Myles Garrett, go get yourself that sack record. Give me the Browns.
Holy shit, we're going to have to listen to another fucking week of Shadur Sanders is so fucking good, man.
Dylan Gabriel
God
might
damn
start.
it, give me the Browns. Hopefully it's Gabriel. Either way, the Browns are winning.
Yeah.
But this is going to be another push the narrative of Shadur if he starts.
Yep, probably. But hey, congrats, Myles Garrett, on getting the sack record. Hopefully you hit 30 because that would be absolutely insane. And I would love to witness history.
Me too, man. Myles Garrett, shout out to you, bro. You made a lot of my memories over the last 5 years as well. Started with the Mason Rudolph one, you know. Then we had the sack record, you know. That would be beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Yep. You're going to look so good in the red and gold next year. Next up, the Seattle Seahawks on the road against the Atlanta Falcons. The Falcons have no identity on any side of the football. Maybe
I wonder who's winning this football game.
Maybe Raheem Morris doesn't even make it back into the locker room. I've got the Seahawks.
Yeah, I got the Seahawks. You know what's funny is that preseason, the money line for this game was probably in favor of the Falcons, but
probably.
Oh, how the turns have tabled.
Yeah.
Give me the Seahawks.
Dare I say, JSN goes off for 150. It's not even a bold take.
No, it's a bold take that he doesn't get 200.
Yeah. It'll be a nice get right game from Darnold though, who's been a little bit shaky as of late.
It'll be a good stat Padford game.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, moving on to Sunday afternoon or late afternoon, if you're cringing on the East Coast like Vitor. We got the Denver Broncos on the road against the Las Vegas Raiders, and you know what?
Subclass human.
Yeah, these two teams played each other earlier in the year, and I said exactly what would happen in that game. I predicted it perfectly, that the Broncos would win, but they would make it difficult on themselves, and it's going to be the exact same thing this time around. The Broncos are going to win. It's not going to look good, but they're going to pull it off, and they're going to look for ways to lose this game throughout it. It's going to be like 13-10.
They're going to be like they're shopping at Target, looking for ways to lose this game.
Yeah, exactly. They're price checking to see which one's the best way to save face.
It's literally it's going to play out like a comedy film. It's like the Raiders are going to like do one of those juggle interceptions where they drop it and they're like, oh, no. And it's like, oh, so this is when the Broncos are going to lose the game. And then Bo Nix is going to fumble it, and an offensive lineman is going to come in out of nowhere and save it and catch it. And he's going to be like, oh. And like when the fumble's going to be like, oh, so this is when they lose the game. And the Broncos are just going to keep somehow coming away with the win.
Yep. Yep. Totally see it, man. You heard it here first on Coast Knows Ball.
Broncos via Looney Tunes win.
Oh, there's actually one more morning game. My mistake. We got the New Orleans Saints on the road against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Another divisional matchup, but maybe not one that matters that much. I've got the Buccaneers.
Please, Baker Mayfield.
Yeah.
Please, I need you to win this game.
I've got them in a get-right game for the Panthers' sake. Lose, but probably not going to happen because the Buccaneers are better and they're going to be a competitive football team through December. I can't wait for those 2 games against the Panthers. That's going to be cinema, hopefully.
Please intercept Tyler Shuck 5 times by the first quarter.
That would be something. All right.
That would make my night.
Next up, we have 2 America's Game of the Weeks. One of these is probably on CBS. But the first one, the Cincinnati Bengals on the road against the Buffalo Bills. I think this is a toss-up.
This is game of the week for sure.
A true toss-up game. Probably a shootout. I could see this being a 35-38 score, something along those lines. These defenses aren't going to be able to stop shit on this field. Now, the only cause for concern is that the last time these 2 teams showed up in the regular season, the game did not finish. Because someone died on the field and came back to life afterwards. So hopefully that doesn't happen again.
Jesus Christ. Our Lord and Savior.
Yeah, I mean, and he blessed Damar Hamlin to be a decent football player after that. How cool.
True. All he had to do was go to hell and then come back, and he made a deal with the devil, and now he has talent. It's crazy how that works.
Yeah. But man, this is so fucking tough to pick. I think what I'll do is
I'm riding with Joe Burr and T. Higgins coming off of the injury. I think T. Higgins is going to go for 2 touchdowns, one of which from 40 yards out.
Okay. I was going to say, since we've been picking pretty much the same team every time so far, and because this is a true toss-up, I know you're going to be picking the Bengals, so I'll pick the Bills for the fun of it. Again, true toss-up, I could see either team winning. That's why I am being a little bitch and not making a decision. Next up, the LA Rams against the Arizona Cardinals. The Rams are going to get back in the win column here after a rough outing against the Panthers, where they were still very competitive, still kept it super close and almost won the game in the end. But look, you commit 2 turnovers in the first quarter, or maybe it was just first half, not first quarter, but tough to recover from that.
Mm-hmm.
But they'll get it done this week.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, this is a game where the Rams just own the Cardinals. No ifs, ands, or buts. They get right for sure.
For sure. All right, Sunday Night Football. Guess what? The Chiefs are playing in prime time once again. Like
the Chiefs get to lose in prime time again.
Yeah, they might. They just might. They're 1-6 at 1-score games so far this year, and I'm not expecting them to double their win total in those types of games this week. I've got the Texans.
Oh, you want to know? I made the funniest post on Christmas, or not on Christmas, on Thanksgiving. So the Cowboys, when they had the ball, or not they had the ball, but when they had just scored the touchdown, then they sacked Mahomes on the first play of that drive to follow up, and they were winning by 8, I think. No, it wasn't 8. They were winning by 9. But I posted on my Facebook. I said, "Don't worry, Chiefs fans. You're still gonna be 1-5 in 1-score games after today, because the Cowboys are just gonna beat you by more than 1 score." And so my grandma came in the chat after the Chiefs got a first down. She was like, "Not quite yet." And I replied to her and I said, "Please excuse me. They are 1-6 in 1-score games now."
Nice, yeah. Look,
that shit was so funny.
I think you look at games like that and you can say, well, hey, if they win a couple of those 1-score games, we'd be talking about a different, outcome of the season entirely. But you also look at them last season where they went like 12-0 in 1-score games, and you can flip like 2 or 3 of those, and the outcome of last season is very different too. It goes both ways. And the point is the Chiefs aren't playing very well. And the last time these 2 teams played in the playoffs last season, that was one of Stroud's better games on the NFL season in 2024. And frankly, if you ask for my humble opinion on that, I think the Houston Texans got screwed out of a victory in that game. I think the refs really mucked it up and gave the win to the Chiefs. So I think that the Texans, with that absolutely dominant defensive unit, will take care of business here.
I agree.
All right. Last but not least, maybe least, the Philadelphia Eagles on the road against the LA Chargers. Chargers at home, I think that's a huge factor. It is prime time as well. Justin Herbert might not play. I think he's probably going to play. It's this non-throwing arm. I hope he
He's
plays
definitely
for the
playing.
sake of my fantasy season. That motherfucker, I traded for him. He
Oh, I don't want to hear it, dude. The playoffs started this week, and Drake May is on every single team I have, and it's of course Patriots fucking bye
yeah,
week.
week 14 buys are so cringe. I hate it so much. But so after I traded for him, the next week he scores 5 points, by far his lowest on the season. 5 points. And then the next week he has a fucking bye week. I'm like, fuck, I thought the bye week already happened for the Chargers. Damn it. Now he's not playing for me. And then this week he scored like 15 points after he came back or whatever, which was fine. It was enough for me to win. But he gets injured. It's like, what? I can't believe
You're
this.
like, motherfucker.
Crazy. Just my luck this season of fantasy, but oh well.
Right.
Eagles at the Chargers. Again, Chargers at home. They're a much better team at home this season, and they've done pretty well in primetime too, if I remember correctly. Whereas the Eagles, they've been struggling recently. The offense is kind of anemic. I just don't know if I can trust them to go on the road and win in Los
How
Angeles.
many more years does? Okay, well, two things. One, how many more years does Jalen Hurts get? Like, I know he just won the won the Super Bowl, but like, if he continues to just play mediocre football, they can't just keep him, can they?
Larry Kruger, who's a Niners reporter and content creator and does a radio show and everything. He was actually, I think it was on his show, they were actually talking about the Eagles quarterback situation, and they could do a Carson Wentz thing that they literally did with Carson Wentz and Jalen Hurts, where Carson Wentz was still the starter, and they drafted Jalen Hurts obviously in the second round, and he came in for occasional plays and whatever, and eventually they just completely weaned off of Carson Wentz and gave Jalen Hurts the starting job, and I think that could happen for the Eagles here. I don't know much about Jalen Hurts' contract structure, and whether, how quickly that could happen. But I do think that it's within the realm of possibility within the next couple years that they, maybe in the 2027 or 8 draft class, they draft a quarterback with a day 2 pick, or maybe even a day 1, if they're picking late enough. And yeah, have a guy
Hmm.
sit behind Hurts for his last years of Philly.
I don't think that's too terrible of an idea.
You have the Chargers for this one?
Yeah, I got the Chargers as well. Fuck the Eagles. Sorry, Charlie. Love you, man.
All right. Well, that was fun. Um,
Yeah.
We've got the Pro Bowl vote, though, up next, and we don't have to spend too much time. I do, if we can, there are obviously going to be some exceptions, but I'd like to adhere to the 3 for each conference, just so we get some equal representation going on here.
We always try and do that.
Yeah. But why don't you go ahead and nominate? I guess we could do nominations, and if there's an objection,
So,
we can do that. Like maybe, okay, maybe we take turns nominating, and we get like a veto, like we get 1 veto per position each.
all right. So we can go ahead and throw in Drake, May, and
Yeah, totally with
he's
you.
definitely a Pro Bowler. And then I would say the NFC side, you got to throw Dak. I think Dak is the far and away leading side for the NFC contender. Actually, I would put him above Matthew Stafford as far as Pro Bowl. I get MVP and whatever has more like team success on it, but I think if we're talking about just pure quarterback play, Dak is the best quarterback in the NFC this year.
Maybe, he's definitely like top 5 for sure. Firmly within that range. He's played really well and quietly so. I think in years past where he's played really well, he gets a lot of media buzz. But for some reason, the Cowboys have been laying under the radar a little bit over the last couple of weeks, despite impressive wins against good teams. So yeah, I am in 100% agreement with those two. My 2 nominations here are going to be Matthew Stafford. I think Pro Bowl without him this season would be a farce. And I'll also nominate Josh Allen. It hasn't been the cleanest year for Josh, but he is still an ultimate playmaker on the field. And again, I think a Pro Bowl without him doesn't make much sense.
I'm cool with that. I wouldn't take away the last AFC spot, and I do want to give it to Indiana Jones. Just I want to acknowledge the season that he's having here. I honestly don't care that Mahomes is better statistically. It doesn't matter to me. His team's worse. I'm not in any position to force myself to give Mahomes any kind of recognition. So I'm going to give that to Daniel Jones because he's right there with Mahomes.
I think Jones has been better too. I will not use my veto there. Now, the issue comes with the next NFC player. Like,
It's either Love or Young, honestly. I think it's either it could be Caleb too.
I think I might be leaning Caleb. And again, you mentioned it earlier. It has not been perfect by any means, but I think the best things that I could have seen from Caleb Williams this year is being clutch, which he has been, and limiting mistakes, and
And
he's
limit
done that as well.
turnovers.
And while still
Hmm.
being able to extend plays, while still being able to throw, for the most part, a very nice football. So I think I am actually going to vote for Caleb Williams here.
Caleb Williams is playing like Mahomes played the last 3 years,
Yeah, except
where he's just
Mahomes was a
efficient with the ball.
yeah. Mahomes was called the top three quarterback, and Caleb Williams is called 18th at best.
Yep, because of passer rating.
Yeah,
Passer rating.
the passer rating merchants are losing their grip on reality every week.
It's so bad, dude.
We have so much better stats now. Like, why would we still use passer rating? It's so dumb. Anyway,
Yep.
all right, no vetoes used. I like our 6 people here. Yeah, honorable mentions. Jordan Love, especially as of recently, has played really well. Sam Darnold,
Hmm.
as of late, has not played well, but I think if you talk about the first 10 weeks of the season, definitely deserving. Herbert, same thing. And Jared Goff, I don't know. I think
I'm not a Goff fan.
I'm not either. I think he's yeah.
Goff gets so much yak from his guys.
Hmm. I think that's it. I don't think I have any other honorable mentions.
Baker Mayfield for the first half, he had a really bad fall off for the
Yeah,
past 6 weeks. I'm not gonna lie.
maybe Jackson Dart for the laughs. That would be a good one. I mean, 18 touchdowns and
Yeah,
3 picks is pretty nice.
Jackson Dart is probably like the fifth most Pro Bowl voted quarterback on the NFC
Oh,
side.
100%. I definitely see that. All right, running back now. This one's probably more straightforward, but we'll see. I'll nominate first this time. I'm going to nominate my boy,
Okay.
Christian McCaffrey. Been an absolute unit, leading the league in touches, leading the league, maybe not in receptions anymore, but he was 2 weeks ago. Uh, he's on pace to average 1,000 yards both receiving and rushing. This offense is not the same without a player like him. Could probably should be in legitimate MVP talks, similar to Jonathan Taylor, for how important those two running backs are to their offenses.
Yeah, you can go ahead and click Taylor as
Yeah,
well.
that's exactly where I was going to go next. I think these are the 2 best running backs in football right now,
I 100% agree. And honestly, the Jonathan Taylor fall off for the past few weeks has mostly just been because of Daniel Jones's fall off.
and the play calling
So,
too. But yeah,
right. Jameer Gibbs, I think, is also a person we need to throw up in there because I think he's the third best running back in football. Honestly, if we're picking dynasty running backs, he's number one. I think he's the best dynasty running
probably
back in
got
football.
the most longevity. Um, prevents injury. He plays smart, not safe, but smart.
Hmm.
Yeah, I like that. You have a AFC nomination?
Yeah, I actually would go James Cook. I think he's been really good at football this year. Outside of the fucking Chiefs game, unfortunately, honestly, he wasn't even bad in that game. It's just that I got fucked over, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think James Cook has been the second best running back in the AFC.
The fumbles are alarming to me, but I don't really care that much, I guess. When you're you're getting freaking however many carries he gets per game, and however many carries he has on the season. And, you're going to have a couple freak fumbles. Christian McCaffrey has a fumble on the year. Bijan Robinson has two.
Derrick Henry was fumbling like
Yeah.
every single
Yeah.
game
And
to start the year.
similar to what you said about interceptions a couple weeks ago, like sometimes they're just a fluky thing that happens. It just happens in the game. And it's a football play, and it's a good defensive football play for the most part. So I'm not bothered by that. I wish that he maybe had a little bit more of a focal point in this offense. It seems like it's a lot of Josh Allen, go be a hero. But I blame Joe
Hmm.
Brady for that. My final
Yeah,
nomination.
Joe Brady doesn't do any favors for the offense.
Right, right. My final nomination, and it's really tough because I think that a few guys are really, really worthy of this spot. But I have to credit Javonte Williams for what he's done in the Dallas backfield. A lot of people counting him out early in the year, like the whole Dallas offense. Frankly, this isn't going to be an efficient running game. It's Javonte Williams. Two big injuries, didn't get the job done in Denver. That's why he's here in Dallas, and here he is. He's balling out. He's having a fantastic year.
He's playing his ass off for sure. I don't mind that one at all. And it really sucks that we have to go AFC here, but I would think Devon Achan is probably the next best deserving.
Yeah, absolutely. Honorable mentions. I mean, Bijan for sheer volume,
Bijan.
I think. But as far as like, have I really been impressed by him this year? Volume, yes, but actual like on-field play, not really. It's about what I expected of him, of
Yeah,
a running back of that caliber. Um, I think these guys I'm more impressed with this season. And then same thing
I agree.
with Rico Dowdle. I really want to give him the nod because he came in there in relief of Chuba Hubbard, who was injured, and again really worked his ass off. And he's definitely deserving of another thing. And he was the Dallas running back before Javonte Williams was, and they moved on from him. He goes to Carolina, and he's having a fantastic year too. So definitely honorable mention to him.
100%.
As far as recent stuff, I think DeAndre Swift is probably going to be a popular vote getter because he's gone on a tear the last month, plain and simple. The rushing attack has been
Been
super
balling out.
efficient. But yeah, I think that's probably it. I would not say Derrick Henry or Brees Hall have quite lived up to their standards.
No, neither of them have played their typical seasons, and Derrick Henry's going to get votes just because he's Derrick Henry. But JSN, we need to go ahead and give a vote to.
Absolutely.
Honestly, the three NFCs, the three guys at the top of the NFC are kind of right there.
Yeah. I thought it might be a little bit tough, when I was initially thinking about it. Like, who am I going to be picking for receiver? I don't know.
Wan'Dale Robinson casually with 830 yards is insane.
Yeah, like you can even see it here. Like there have not been a lot of dominant receiver seasons this year. It's been a lot of very quiet performances. We only have 3 at 1,000 yards. I feel like in other years maybe we've had like 5 or 6 at this point. I could be completely wrong though. But yeah, 100%. These 3 guys are totally deserving.
I think you probably are wrong because Jason is on pace to break the receiving record.
Is he really?
Yeah.
I guess with the extra game that makes some sense. Here's the wrench though. Like I don't know who the third AFC receiver is going to be here. And if we just break our own rule for Devontae Adams, 14 touchdowns, and I get it, it's stat Padford at the 1 yard line, but it takes a special connection with a quarterback to do that thing. But
I'm using my veto
okay.
if you try and give it to Adams.
Well,
he is not.
I wanted to talk about
receiver.
it first anyway because that's an NFC receiver, and we should try to find an AFC receiver anyway. But
I have no issues with giving Cortland Sutton a vote. I think Cortland Sutton is deserving of a vote this year.
okay. I might. I think I'm going to veto that one as well. He's been good.
Okay,
This is the
then
problem.
Jalen Waddle, because Jalen Waddle's been getting elite production on not elite targets.
I would take Jalen Waddle over Sutton for sure.
Okay.
And then, I mean, the other one's got to be Chase. Obviously a bit of a down year for his standards, but still an elite receiver, just with really bad quarterback play for the most of it. And he's probably gonna these numbers are probably gonna get crazy high over the next couple weeks.
Oh yeah. He's gonna balloon up to a wide receiver 1 by the end of the year.
Mhm. Here's the issue though. Like, where do we go with the final AFC pick? The
I
next,
mean, Nico is right up there with the production while still having shit quarterback play. So I don't hate giving Nico a vote.
yeah, that might be where it has to go.
Because even if his play hasn't looked that good on the field, that level of production with the quarterback play is still impressive.
Yeah. I would say if Pittman was a little bit more consistent on the year, like there's just some weeks where he does non-existent on this offense, then I think he would be a worthy
Because they
addition.
give all the fucking targets to. They will do this thing where they'll give all the targets to Alec Pierce every 5 weeks for no reason.
Yeah, Alec Pierce, Josh Downs, yeah. Tyler Warren's always due
Mm-hmm.
for 7 targets at least.
A 3 touchdown game every now and then.
Yeah. Yeah, it's probably Nico Collins. It's definitely not Zay Flowers. I mean, yeah, Cortland Sutton would be the next one, and I just vetoed him, so
Yeah.
okay.
Although, shout out Trey Tucker for having a little bit of a breakout year.
Shout out. Yeah, that's actually true. Do we care about fullback?
No.
-1 yards per attempt. That's hilarious. All right, we're not going to vote.
But he has a touchdown.
It's Juice is the best one. Do we need to vote for anyone else? I don't even know. I don't even know if we need to vote
No.
for Juice either. We'll just move on. Okay, tight end. Interesting one here. This is another position where I'm thinking about how impressed I've been, and the names that keep popping up for a lot of it have been rookies. I think there have been, and maybe not the most productive of seasons, but rookie tight ends or maybe second year tight ends, if we're talking Brock Bowers, have been at the
Mm-hmm.
forefront of production or just quality play from the position. So I do want to
I was going to
nominate
say,
Tyler Warren for one of the AFC
I want to
spots.
nominate Harold Fannin and Gadsden as the other
Oh,
two.
wow. Oh, I think I'm gonna veto Fannon's because I think Bowers should have it.
I think Fannin deserves to be up above Gadsden. Way worse quarterback play, better production as far as touchdowns go by 1, same yards basically.
Gadsden also only played like starting with week 5.
Yeah, but Fannin's also splitting with Njoku.
Kind of. Gadsden also, I'm pretty sure he's had multiple 100-yard receiving games. Let's see. Football Reference. Oronde Gadsden. Uh, where's the game log? Up here. Okay, just one where he went off for 164.
That
Okay.
game was crazy. He was a waiver wire demon for real.
Okay, well, here's what I'll say. I'll let you pick between Gadsden and Fannin, but I can't let you have both of them.
That's fine. Bowers can be the third. Fannin though.
Okay. Um, I think McBride is an obvious one for the NFC side, and then it's kind of nothing
Mm-hmm.
there. Like Juwan Johnson's got production. Um, Zach Ertz has kind of had some production. Jake Ferguson's got touchdowns, which is nice. Kittle missed a lot of time, but he's always fantastic.
Honestly, I wouldn't mind Colston Loveland just because down the stretch Loveland has been producing.
That was another one that I considered too, because again, with the rookie
And
tight end
Kyle
play,
Pitts.
I have not been impressed with Kyle Pitts. I don't think it's in, but it is your nomination. You get to nominate an NFC guy, and I don't have a veto anymore. So
I mean, we might as well throw Jawan Johnson up there since he's all the way at the top for production.
okay. Ugh.
And then you can pick the third one.
Man, I'd love to toss my boy George a vote, but I think he just missed a little too much time. If he didn't miss time, he would be up here for sure, but he missed 5 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
I think because of
That's
that
too much time
reason,
to give a Pro Bowl vote.
because of that reason, it probably should be Jake Ferguson, all around the most productive tight end, and it's been in a really good offense, a team that's competitive. So yeah, that'll be mine.
Mm, I'm cool with that.
All right. Tackle. A lot of tackles here, but does anyone stand out as like a great performer? I think maybe Armand Membu should probably get a vote. That's a definite
Yeah,
one.
definitely Armand Bambu. I would say Penny Sewell as well.
Yeah, I would say so too. It hasn't been the tackle play in Detroit that's been a problem. It's been the interior.
Hmm. Who also has just been casually part of the best O lines in football? The Bears O line has low-key been fucking amazing, but that's mostly been from guard play like Joe Tooney.
Yeah.
Um,
Where's their second? Oh, there he is.
it's Benedict and Darnell Wright
Yeah, yeah.
at the top
Yeah, I think interior is where the Bears get a pick or vote.
for sure.
But man, like Joe Alt's been
Um,
great, but he's already hurt and out for the year. Not out for the year, maybe, but hurt again. Tristan Wirfs just scored a touchdown, if that counts for anything.
that
Uh,
is that is true.
Deion Dawkins has always been a staple for the Bills.
I'm okay with him getting a vote.
Okay, maybe Wirfs.
Um, I wouldn't mind Tristan Wirfs either.
Okay, where'd he go? Up here. There he is.
And then honestly, Andrew Thomas has been solid.
Okay. Haven't watched too much New York Giants offensive line, so I'll take your word. What to do with this last one, I am not too sure. Honestly, I think tackle play has been kind of down this year.
No, we have three NFC, I thought.
One, two.
Yeah. We have Lions, Giants, and Bucks.
Oh, do we pick
And then we
six
have one
already?
for the Bills. We have two for the AFC and one for the NFC. Sorry. So we need to do an AFC one.
Yes.
Honestly, I wouldn't mind giving JC Latham a vote.
Oh man, I would veto that one.
Okay.
He's probably the best part of that line, but that line is dreadful.
That's fair.
I think. Oh, I know Vitor would really want Patrick
Patrick
Paul,
Paul.
and he has quietly been good. That's probably the most impressive of the remaining.
I'm cool with the Patrick Paul vote.
Okay. Now to guard play. Hmm.
Throw good old Joe Tooney on there.
Yep, Joe Tooney for sure. See further down. Where is
There's
Joe
Jonah
Tooney?
Jackson as well. So it might be up a little.
There he is.
There he is.
Okay, yep, definitely agree with that one. Definitely not 49ers guards. They've been dreadful. Um,
Nope.
man. I mean, do we throw a
Oof,
vote
Kevin
to
Zeitler is ass now.
like Austin Corbett for the Panthers? Their line's been quietly pretty solid this year.
I wouldn't hate that. Shouldn't it go to Robert Hunt though?
Where's Robert Hunt on here?
Or oh no, it's Damian Lewis who's their guard. Robert Hunt is playing tackle for them this year.
Yes, yeah, you're right. You think Damian Lewis has been better than Corbett?
Honestly, I'm cool with Austin Corbett.
Okay.
Shout out former Brown, traded to the Rams. Now he's on the Panthers. Why do I fucking know that? Who cares about Austin Corbett, dude?
um let's toss a vote to Trey Smith. Always been a good offensive lineman. He was a great prospect coming out of college. Somehow was a 6th round pick and of course fell into the
Tyler
Chiefs'
Booker
lap.
for the Cowboys has been balling out too.
And as a rookie, that's pretty good. And now we need 2 AFC guys left.
Wyatt Teller.
I suppose a Brown can get it. He's probably the best Brown on the line right now. Do we dare just put another Jet on here
I mean,
with Joe
it's
Tippmann?
either Joe Tippmann, Michael Wenwu, or Ezra Cleveland.
I think Joe Tippmann's probably the best of those three.
It's either I would say definitely not Cleveland. I'm okay with Tippmann, yeah.
I mean, since he moved from center, he's been quite good.
Mm-hmm.
Center, let's get Creed Humphrey and Drew Dahlman on here. Where's Creed Humphrey? Yeah,
Yep.
there we go. That easy too. Aaron Brewer as well has been fantastic. I think that's an easy 3 there.
Eric McCoy. Oh fuck! Is Eric McCoy been injured all season?
It may have been. I'm not sure.
He might be playing guard for us now.
Let's
What
see.
the fuck? Eric McCoy.
Cesar Ruiz. Where's the other guard for the Saints?
No, he
Even
says
listed?
Oh, he's on the IR. Yeah.
You guys don't even have another guard on the guard page.
Yeah, we do.
Where?
Dylan Radins.
Why can't?
Oh, wait, no, it's right. Wait, stop scrolling. Okay, down a little. Your mouse is right over the lane that it's on. Down a
Oh my
little
god!
more.
How did I not see that? Probably because my mouse was in the way. Damn it. Okay.
But yeah, Dylan Radins is playing guard for us. Dude, I'm kind of pissed at the Cowboys for not keeping Tyler Biadasz because they could have had Tyler Guyton, Tyler Smith, Tyler Biadasz. Fuck, they had another
They
Tyler.
did. I don't remember what his name was for some reason.
Lame.
And who? I mean, maybe Cooper Beebe of the Cowboys. Connor McGovern of the Bills. Who do we need? We need 1 AFC, 2 NFC left. Tyler Linderbaum. Probably the only
Yeah, I
bright
don't
spot of
hate
that line.
Linderbaum. Garrett
Garrett
Bradbury's not a
Bradbury. I
bad
think
pick.
it's got to be Garrett Bradbury, right?
I think so.
Now all for
He's been
NFC
playing
here.
great for the Patriots. BB?
Yeah, I think BB's got to be. Maybe John Michael Schmitz.
I don't hate
I mean,
that.
we haven't given the Eagles offensive line any love. Maybe it's time with Cam Jurgens.
Jurgens.
I could do Jurgens.
I think out of their old line, it's either him or Dillard.
I mean, the tush push, right?
True.
All right, there we go. That's our offense. We got defense next. And this stupid ass defensive end, outside linebacker discourse continues. But Myles Garrett.
Even though Madden finally fixed it.
Did they really?
Yeah, Madden finally has edge, I think.
Oh. That's fantastic. Myles Garrett, Micah Parsons, obvious and clear top 2 there. I think anyone you'd like to nominate here? I mean, there's plenty of other good players.
Danielle Hunter and Will Anderson honestly both need to be on there as well.
I'm with you. That, of course, does exclude Max Crosby, who's also had a good year as
okay,
the only defensive player.
Honestly speaking, Will Anderson and Danielle Hunter are playing that good.
They really are. We've got 2 spots, and they're for NFC players now. I mean, do we just throw a bone to Aiden Hutchinson? 4 forced fumbles is pretty huge.
Yeah, honestly, and he's gonna have double-digit sacks, and then it gets gross.
You'll probably veto it, and I probably would too anyway. But I do want to give a shout out to Bryce Huff, who has played really well as like the only guy on that defensive line now with Nick Bosa and Michael Williams injured. He's the only guy that has consistently set the edge, and he's kind of been known as a solid merchant. You know, he played really well for the Jets, went to the Eagles, kind of sucked.
I'm going to veto it because I actually think DeMarcus Lawrence deserves the vote. DeMarcus Lawrence has had a really sneaky good year. He's been getting pressures left and right and making plays every time I watch the Seahawks. He's been the guy
Yeah.
on that
This
line.
is why I wish they would have pressures and sacks, because I think the win rate is really important here. Like, I want sacks, hits, and
Hmm.
pressures. Why do we only get sacks on the NFL page?
Well, it also sucks because we're gonna go to linebackers next, and it's gonna be a bunch more fucking edge
Yeah,
rushers.
it is. It's so annoying. Yeah, I probably wouldn't pick Huff either. I wanted to give him his flowers real quick because he has played well,
Right.
despite the not being very productive. Defensive tackle or
Hmm.
interior defensive line, if you will. Right off the bat, I
Wow,
think,
Byron Murphy is a really good D lineman. Who would have
yeah,
thought?
Leonard
Fucking
Williams too,
16th pick in the draft, guys.
and Jeffrey Simmons as well. Probably the best of the bunch. Uh,
Yeah.
Certainly an argument for it. What else do we like here?
Um, I don't mind the Zach Allen vote. He's been really good for 2 years in a row
That's
now.
true. Yeah, I'm with you. We need one more in each conference.
Derek Brown's been shutting down the run game and having 4 sacks at his size is honestly very impressive.
Yeah.
I wouldn't hate that. Jalen Redmond is a former Oklahoma Sooner. I wouldn't mind him getting a vote either. And then for actually, I would if we're going NFC, I kind of like Gervin Dexter. Gervin Dexter has been the Bears guy with Montez
He
Sweat, and he's been
has.
part of them turning that D line around.
He has. But which, like, I'm between him and Derek Brown. Which one?
Holy shit, Calais Campbell is gonna have 6+ sacks in
Well,
2025.
he's got 5.5 now. He might not get another one. Who knows?
That is true, but that's crazy that he has 5.5 in
Yeah. I
2025.
mean, yeah, career, probably Hall of Famer, right?
Oh yeah.
So the reason I would argue for Derek Brown in this case is because, and don't get me wrong, Gervin Dexter's been very good, but we saw what the Panthers defense looked like without Derek Brown last year, and they were the worst in the NFL against the run. And the
And now
turnaround
they're different.
with him has been absolutely insane. And of course, those are numbers that we don't get on the board here. So his season does not look as impressive, and he's not going to be getting votes for that reason either. So I think I
I
would.
mean, it still looks more impressive than Dexter everywhere else, so I'm cool with it.
Okay. One more AFC spot. I mean, Millie Collins has 6.5 sacks, but I mean, I think a lot of those are cleanup because of
John
Myles
Franklin
Garrett.
Myers is also deserving.
Franklin Myers.
Honestly, that whole Broncos defense has just been
Yeah.
crazy.
I think John Franklin Myers, both of the former Niners, I think are having really good years, even if
DeForest
they're not lighting
Buckner,
it up. I mean, he's been the leader of that defense for years.
26 tackles is crazy. Honestly, I'd say Buckner.
That is kind of crazy. All right, I'm in for that. Yeah, Leonard Williams and Jeffrey Simmons tied for the most.
Don't
Redmond
worry,
also
Browns fans.
25.
You're getting a vote on the next one.
Jordan Davis could also be a worthwhile pick there. Also stuffing
Yeah.
the run there. Yeah, a lot of good interior defensive line play.
Where's Schlesinger at? Down a little bit
Yeah,
more.
there he is. 100%. Fantastic coverage linebacker. We knew that coming out of the draft. Whoever was going to get him, I thought would get a steal. He's been fantastic as advertised.
100%.
Um,
Jordan Brooks has also had a breakout year for the Dolphins.
yeah, he had a pretty good year last year too, didn't he? So it's been a
Mhm.
couple years now since
He had over
sustained
like
success.
140 some tackles, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And then for the NFC side, I think we need to give Jack Campbell a vote. He's been a really fucking good linebacker this year.
He's definitely not my favorite, but I'll let that one pass because he's been good, but I think he's very overrated. Mario Davis, the 2 forced fumbles is kind of pleasing to the eye. Nick Landman, 4 forced fumbles. That's pretty impressive.
I think Edgerrin Cooper should get a vote.
Okay.
And then I didn't hear anything that you said.
Well, I was still talking about Tatum Bethune, and he had like the 23 tackles in 3 games. Just wanted to give him his flowers. I wasn't gonna pick him. He's also injured.
Right.
So we got 2 in each conference. Definitely don't want Bobby Wagner. Definitely don't want Roquan Smith. I think Nick Landman. I mean, 4 forced fumbles. Also getting in the sack game there. Same amount of tackles as a Zach
Bobby
Bond.
Wagner and DeAndre Hopkins being like the top of their positions on PFF is one of the funniest things.
So
So
crazy. So crazy.
I would be cool with Roquan Smith for the AFC side.
I don't know. Just the defense has been so underwhelming. And I think when you have such a great linebacker in the middle of that, that's a kind of a reflection on him too.
I guess that's fair.
But I mean, who should replace him?
Zach Bond for the NFC could be a good
Spillane,
vote.
Spillane, quietly really good too, and that Patriots
I'm
defense
cool
has
with
been
Spillane.
fantastic. That might be a good pick.
And then
And
Landman for the NFC.
I think so.
Hell yeah.
All right, here's where the stupid bullshit occurs. How do we want to
Yeah,
do
now we
this?
gotta throw in. I mean, you can't not put Nick Benito in the Pro Bowl.
Yeah, 100%. I think I think the top 3 should get in.
I
Afterwards,
agree.
we can have a discussion. But these 3,
Yeah, now we
yes.
gotta find linebackers too to throw in here because there's gonna be some linebacker in here that needs to be put on that's not gonna have the sacks.
Right.
So yeah, Henry Tioto is the first one that I see, but he's not a Pro Bowler or
Where are
anything.
the Chargers linebackers? Do they not have any of their?
They have Khalil Mack and Odafe Away, and then Tui Pelotu. Those are the three that they had listed.
Oh, they have Henley listed as inside. That would have been a pretty good pick for inside linebacker too. Okay. Yeah, this is the problem. Like TJ Watt's going to get votes because of his name value and because he's way up here, but he like the 3 forced fumbles is the most impressive thing about his season. He has not been good. One of those was Caleb Williams in the end zone.
I think the Byron Young is deserving of the third NFC vote
Okay, that's fine. He's got 10 sacks. That's worthy enough.
and nearly 40 tackles too.
Hmm. Man, I really want to give some love to these off-ball guys, but they really don't have that many off-ball outside linebackers listed.
Yeah, not on here anyway. Seems like they've definitely turned OLB just into 3-4 edges.
I mean, Jermaine Pratt, it's not been horrible. Probably not a Pro Bowler. Foya Oluokun's always good. That's always kind of a safe pick. I'm surprised they have him listed as an outside linebacker.
He's definitely a middle for some. That's so weird, but Abdul Carter, least deserving fucking vote getter. Fuck that guy.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, I get it. Like D Winters with 56 tackles here. I get that he's an outside linebacker, but to have him in the same category as a 13 sack Brian Burns who plays exclusively off the edge is just stupid. It's just stupid. And I'm not saying that D Winters should get a vote. He has not been very good. He's been good the last couple weeks, but it's just dumb. Like it doesn't compute.
100%.
Fuck, I
I
don't
think
know.
that scroll down. There was a guy that we were talking about on the bottom. Yeah, give
Alokan,
it to Foye.
yeah,
Yeah,
always consistent, very good. We need one more AFC. I mean, we could just give it to Tui Pelotu for the sacks. We could give it to Cooper. I mean, it's the Denver's pass rush. That front 4 has been fantastic.
yeah. We've already given it to the other three.
Highsmith has been the best of the 3 Pittsburgh rushers, in my opinion. Let's just do Cooper and move on.
I agree.
J.C.
J.C. Horn
Horn,
definitely gets a vote.
absolutely. Derek Stingley, I think, deserves a vote.
Emmanuel Forbes having 3 interceptions is kind of hilarious. I'm not gonna lie.
Very quietly turning his career around in Los Angeles. Crazy what coaching does, right?
It's crazy how bad the Washington
And so
Commanders
here's
are.
the problem as well, right? Like the Ball Hawks deserve credit. And like J.C. Horn is also just a fantastic corner. It's not just that he's a
But
ball
it
hawk.
shouldn't be sorted by interceptions. It should be sorted by yards allowed.
Yes, absolutely. Because Christian Gonzalez
Christian
has no
Gonzalez.
interceptions, but he's not going to get any. Maybe he does. Maybe I'm wrong. But I mean, come on. Charvarius Ward has
Dude, it's Cam Ward.
Charvarius Ward's been having a fantastic season. That's definitely a worthwhile vote, I think.
I agree.
Quinyon Mitchell's been really good. Okay, what do we have here? We've got one. We have 3 AFC, so we need 2 more NFC votes. Quinyon Mitchell, like I said.
Sertan. Oh,
Um,
we already have our.
oh, where is Sertan?
He's at the bottom because he doesn't have an interception.
Oh, who do we replace him with?
Probably
Do
Ward.
we? He's been hurt. He's lost time. I don't know. It's your
Still has
call.
11 more tackles.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're not tackling as a corner, generally speaking, I think that's a good thing.
That's a good thing.
It's up to you. I think Sertan more than deserves it, but I would also say that he's missed time this year, whereas Ward has not.
We can give Ward a vote.
Okay, I don't think Sertan's going to struggle for votes anyway.
Right.
Um,
Let's give Max Melton a vote for the Cardinals. Either
I think I'll veto that one.
Will Johnson gets a vote for the Cardinals.
I'd be more into Will Johnson. He's currently injured, I think, but he's been one of the more impressive rookies that's been completely flying under the radar.
100%. And he was such a steal at 45.
Mm-hmm. So I think between the final NFC pick,
Alontae Taylor, shout out for nothing, dude. You got juked out of your jock straps. Worst fucking tackling I've ever seen. Holy shit, that guy sucks.
Final NFC pick, I think Quinyon Mitchell is up for consideration. I think Diamador Lenore is up for consideration. I think one of the Rams guys should be up for consideration. There's a lot of good corner play this year.
I'll take Lenore.
Okay. I will say maybe the most impressive thing about Lenore's season is that now he is the number one 100%. Like, he's had Ward the last 3 years right next to him. Yeah, and he's filled in the role really well. But he's also a 49er, so I'm, of course, happy about that.
Right. Honestly,
safety,
I want to give Cole Bishop his flowers here.
Yeah, he's been pretty good. Trevin Marrick's been really good, too.
Has been opportunistic. Yeah, he has. Mauer's finally looking like the player who we thought he would, and the Raiders got nothing out of him.
Yeah.
Big shocker. It's crazy how Trayvon Maury goes to the team that made Jeremy Chin. And it's like, wow, it's almost like Trayvon Maury can do exactly that, except better because he's even more talented.
Right. Now, with strong safety, I think tackles means more to this position than to corner, because there are a lot of box guys here, a lot of big tackle makers, and I think that plus having 2 interceptions at the strong role, Cameron Curl, I think, has to get a vote.
I agree.
We got 3 more to choose from. Kyle Hamilton is always a pretty safe pick. He's probably been the best of the worst in Baltimore.
I know Brian Branch stands out, but I honestly don't think he deserves a vote. He has not been that good in coverage this year.
I would agree with you, yeah.
Nick Cross is always going to have a high tackle number, so that doesn't really change anything for me. Same thing with Jeremy Chin. So can we scroll down a little? Solid year out of Jordan Battle, not a Pro Bowl year.
I mean, maybe Xavier McKinney. It's been quiet, but he's been very good. It's been a good
Xavier
defense.
McKinney's always solid.
Yeah.
I like that pick.
So we need 2 more AFC picks.
Go ahead and get Kyle Hamilton.
Jalen Petre.
And then, Jalen Petre.
Okay. This is very smooth sailing.
And then we're on to free safety.
Kevin Byard with 6 interceptions is kind of crazy.
Yeah, that's an insane stat. I did not know.
Let's give the rookie some love, Xavier Watts.
Oh, 100%. He's been balling out this season.
And we haven't given a Falcons defender any love yet, so that's a good one to choose.
Mm-hmm.
Cam Bynum has been very good for the Colts.
I like the Cam Bynum pick.
Okay.
2 more from each conference. Jonas Sanker had a really good start to the year. Hasn't been playing that good since. If Brophy here was here, he'd be like, Jalen Ramsey's been amazing free safety. Honestly, Kalen Bullock, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, me too. I did want to just do one quick scan of the whole list.
Yeah. Malachi Starks, he's been okay. I wouldn't say Pro Bowl level, but he's been a good rookie. There was a couple names at the bottom, towards the bottom of the list. I thought must have been wrong.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe Brady Cook's probably the best of the people down here, but not a Pro Bowl player.
I think it was just I saw Javon Holland's name. That's all. But
and Jordan
he's not
Poyer.
A Pro Bowler. Yeah.
I mean, he's got 6 interceptions.
Give it to Byard, yeah, dude. That's 2 more than second place. Gotta.
Yeah.
I refuse to let us vote for Kirby Joseph.
Kitchens is another guy that you can maybe give some love to with the Rams secondary that's been balling out. Definitely not you, Jair Brown. You had 1 good game.
Could do Hawkins for the Pats. His stats look good.
I'm in for that. All right. Special teams, I guess we could just talk about kickers, maybe returners.
Wait, we did leave Kobe Bryant off.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Let me give some love to Eddie De Niro Pinheiro. Perfect from the field this season. Been super clutch, been awesome for the 49ers, and he's only
You can
6
go
off.
ahead and give Aubrey the vote.
Yeah, Brandon Aubrey, always deserving of the vote. How about Cam Little, breaking the record? Not the
Yep.
best kicker in the world, but that leg is worth a pick.
I mean, he's not deserving of a Pro Bowl, but he did make history, so we're giving it to him.
Right.
Let's throw Evan McPherson a vote because we fuck with him, and then Kaimi Fairbairn.
Where is McPherson?
They're both at the top.
Oh, there he is. I was gonna say Fairbairn or Dicker. I think I might prefer Dicker this year. Been a little bit
That's
more
fair.
clutch. So we need 2 more.
Definitely not the Patriots guy.
No.
The Patriots guy sucks.
We need one
I've
more.
seen him miss too many field goals.
One more NFC guy anyway. I mean, Myers has kicked a lot.
We can give it to McLaughlin. 65 long for McLaughlin.
That is when did he kick that? That's kind of crazy.
Fucking beast, I guess.
Will record 21 of 23 with the 62 long. That's pretty good.
Was the McLaughlin one to send a game to overtime? It could have been.
Oh, you might be right. No, was it? No, it was against the Eagles, I think. At half, right? Was that it?
65-yard. Yeah, it was. You were right.
Sure. He's got the second longest kick on the list. We care about legs.
Facts.
And
I will say, though, that shit barely made it over. I just watched it. That shit barely made it over. It was not good from 66.
Any returners that we want to talk about here?
Nico Remigio for the Chiefs. I'll give him a vote. That can be the one Chief we give a vote.
How about shout out Sky Moore? After being really bad the first couple of weeks, he's been an instrumental part of the turnaround of the special teams for the 49ers. Him and Eddie Pinheiro.
I'll say shout out Marvin Mims, Boomer Sooner.
All right, fair enough.
On the other side of things, Devin Duvernay for the Bears. Shout out fucking Texas player, but
where'd he go?
Mid left.
Chimere DK.
That's our 3.
There's a ton of kickoff returns. He did fumble recently, but looking to be a solid enough player. Kevontae Turpin's always a safe pick.
I fuck with Turpin.
Do we want to do anything else? Long snapper, punter, special teamer. Any fun names?
No.
Let's see. EJ Speed, I saw that for a second. Luke Gifford, fuck you.
Can we give Tress Way a vote for punter because he played at Oklahoma?
Sure. Tress Way, we can give Thomas Morstead a vote. I want to give my good old Aussie friend Mitch Wisnowski a vote too.
Yeah, we fuck with Wisnowski.
I wish he was. I mean, Morstead's been good, but I wish that guy was still my punter. Cool dude. How about
Tommy Townsend, just because Townsend's a great name.
Yep. Trevor Lawrence, if he was a punter. How about good old Matt Ariza beating those allegations?
The punt god. Yeah, the Chiefs are getting all the good votes, dude. What are you talking about? We've given the Chiefs 2 good Pro Bowlers. Nico Rubio. Fucking Matt Ariza.
And Bradley Pinion, former Niner as well. How about that?
Actually, I feel like we need to figure out who has the longest punt and give them a vote.
Rawshaw, 76. 77 for Wright.
Okay. Dude, that could be the Vikings Pro Bowler is the punter. Oh my god, that's the Vikings vote.
Straight up is. Holy crap.
Let's go.
Okay.
Attaboy, right?
Any fun long snapper names? Sleg.
Zach Wood is the lowest overall in Madden every year, and he's on the Saints.
Perfect.
He's always a 39 overall tight end.
Jack McQuaid, if that's his name.
Yeah, we don't even know if it's Lana Rhodes.
Nice. I'll give it to Weeks. Again, special teams has turned around for the 49ers, and the long snapper's a big part of that, I think. Could be wrong.
Yeah. You know what? The Steelers guy that looks like it's Kuntz for sure, but it's close enough to Chris Kunitz, and Chris Kunitz played for the Pittsburgh Penguins, so we'll go with it.
It's also almost. I'll probably have to bleep that.
It's if it was like Monster High spelling.
Monster High doll.
Yeah.
My God.
Dude, my brain just functioned today.
Hey, who doesn't love some Hennessy? How about that?
Yeah, Trey Hennessy, whatever his name is.
Yeah. All right.
Our Butler,
Tommy
something Butler. That's not Butler.
Eichenberg. How about that? Fantastic.
Bill Russell.
Not Bill. Okay, yeah. Look at that hair. We should pick the best
Dude.
hair. Best hair for the return specialists.
Hell,
look at
yeah.
Stewart. Look at that hair.
Dude, that's some good hair.
That's fucking Kenny G right there, man. Minus the facial hair. Holy shit.
Facts. We should give Keely Ringo a vote for that crime he committed in Georgia.
Okay, all right.
Not seeing too many good hairs here. You know, that's a good smile on the Rams guy, though. You know, we like a good Cam Scatabo size smile.
And you know what? How about extending the same thing to the Packers guy? That's
Dude,
a nice smile. That's a cheese right there.
That is a cheesy smile,
Yeah,
bro.
Yeah, it is. Stiggers.
Dude was definitely saying cheese.
Percy Butler.
Ooh, that's some good hair for the Patriots. That's good hair on the Patriots guy.
Oh yeah,
Schooler.
Yeah. Oh, Schooler. I thought it said Schroeder. Ben Skoranek. Okay.
Stallbird, what a name.
Let's just go back to fallbacks. It's the last thing we didn't vote on. These guys are the
CJ
most
Ham,
involved.
Patrick Ricard, Adam Prentice, all the same guys that always get it.
Yeah. Okay, there we go. Easy enough. Oh, we have one more vote. Reggie Gilm. Okay.
That's too many AFC guys. Just kidding.
Can't you fucking believe that? Oh, I have to log in. Fuck you. I'll do that later. All right. That's the show.
That's the show, ladies and gentlemen.
We didn't get to my $15 pick and build an offense, but if you want to play that game yourself, it's on our Instagram right now. So go check it out.
And we'll put it in the YouTube community post.
Yeah, that's actually a good idea. Jacob, you want to take it away for our Coast Nose Ball call?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, the Coast Nose Ball call every single week just gets to remind me of the best part of the thing, and that is when our fans like and subscribe.
Yes.
I just want to thank everybody for making it this far into the episode. You know, this is going to be a little bit longer of a Coast Nose Ball episode. We had the Pro Bowl. We had a tier list still. So we went through the whole everything, and we still added on some more. So hopefully you guys can appreciate the little bit of extra content we're putting out there for you. But yeah, thank you so much, everybody, for making it this far in the episode. Myself, Anthony, and Broofy is not here, but we all greatly appreciate it. And if you've made it this far, you clearly love the content. So yeah, go ahead, like, subscribe, comment down below how crappy our picks are or how good they are. I don't care. But we need to hear you comment, man. We need activity in the chat.
Yes. Give us some activity. Let us know what you think about our picks.
Yeah. And let me know how bad my editing is, because I'm editing this right now.
Alrighty.
But yeah. Thank you, everybody. Peace.